That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go. Owers and tastemakers make us no chaser. Gets the blood flowing like a fucking pacemaker. Cut the middleman and inhale the vapors. Madman, old 10 Don Drapers. Cut the jukebox on, make the woofers blow. We gon' sit here until all them heifers go. Holler at the tens and spend a little dough. Not on them, no, they can buy their own drinks. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Rundown episode 198. Yes, I actually know the episode number this time because I don't think I've known it for like the past few rundowns because, they've been getting up late, but we don't need to do introductions because we have an intro for a reason. You should have already saw the intro when come over here. You already know who we are, so we don't need. You should know who Noah is more than any of us because he's on the bigger YouTube channels than we are. So, anyhow, we're gonna be reviewing all of the WWE and AEW shows from the week, and we're gonna obviously at the end say all the new stuff that's taken place. So we're going to start off with all week, WWE's Instagram account has been just throwing out bump episodes because I think what happened is all of these, people like Matt Camp, Ryan Popola, Caleb Braxton pretty much are in quarantine, so they need to do something. So they need to work. So I guess they're going to get paid to do that for a while. Like I said, it's the state of the world. James ranted about it 2 episodes ago, so you just go check that out.
Yeah, and again, I stand by what I said, that this is still, to this day, ridiculous. And the world, by the way, is going to have to continue the way it was at some point. You can't just... Because now they're talking about trying to make this go on for how many months now? Probably like 18 months. That's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, it's way too long.
That's ludicrous. Like you, and this is a real life scenario. I am not in that position. I'm fortunate enough that I'm not in that position. I'm sure Owen is fortunate enough to not be in this position, and so is Noah. But most jobs, as I said, cannot transfer online. So you keep that going for 18 months, you're going to have a civil war on your hands. That's civil unrest waiting to happen. That's riots waiting to happen, you idiots. That cannot go on that long. It will not go on that long. You can't. It's here now. The fucking virus ain't going anywhere. We're going to have to fucking live with it. That's just how it is.
Make America break again.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had the first of like many of them on right after Raw. It was just Matt Camp and Ryan Popola just recapping Raw and going through the WrestleMania. I'll just say that's basically what the Instagram lives are. They did some. The only one that's really of note is the Elias interview. Elias got interviewed by Caleb Braxton, talked about his WrestleMania match, his personal life and stuff. But they kept doing them. Evan T-Mac and Ryan Popola did one recap at NXT. Mackenzie Michelle was supposed to do one interview in R-Truth, but I think something got messed up because I never saw the Instagram live. I think they forgot. I don't know if it didn't post or something happened, but whatever. I didn't really need to see that. And then Matt Camp and Mackenzie Mitchell did one after SmackDown, recap at SmackDown. So that's the gist of all the bump ones. The only bump one that's really of note is obviously the actual episode, March 25th, 2020. Which was hosted by Matt Camp and Ryan Popola, but occasionally Evan T-Mac and Caleb Braxton chimed in from their homes because, obviously they can't. They probably don't want to have. They probably just want to limit it to 2 people actually in the studio with everything going on right now.
Even though you can have 10 people in the same fucking enclosed area, but
at a certain distance. But anyway,
but still.
But yeah, this bump episode was fairly entertaining. I think it was taped because it was clearly edited. Sami Zayn got interviewed. He talked about being the Intercontinental Champion. His fundraiser that he has, the Sammy Facilia thing. They actually this is the first time they've talked about it. I'm not saying WWE talked about it though, because this is kind of an unscripted show. So WWE has still not addressed his, foundation or whatever you call it.
It's more of an independent platform, and let's face it, WWE blank is still WWE control.
You know, he talked about the Aldis Collective. He actually pretty much says he's not a fan of the name, but says it, obviously in a nice way, because he doesn't want to get in trouble. But he basically says, yeah, it would have been the name I chosen, but that's the name it happened. So I think he's basically saying he's not a fan of the name. So
me neither.
But then Seth Rollins got interviewed. This was kind of cool because this was the first time Seth Rollins had been on since that first episode, and it's like, wow, a lot's changed since that first episode, because that was when he was the whiny babyface Universal Champion. They just kind of talked about the evolution of Seth Rollins since then, and the WrestleMania match with Kevin Owens. He did talk about more of the promo, how he was there when Kevin Owens got signed to WWE. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing that they added to the promo. He said he couldn't talk about it on Raw because of time restraints. Then we had the Bump 100, where Dan Vollmeyer tried to talk about everything in 100 seconds. He went over. I think that's going to be a running joke. He's always going to go over. And he wasted his 100 seconds talking about Big Show's dance moves and everyone. Like, what a waste of 100 seconds that was. Get out of here. Like...
I can review a 205 Live episode in 100 seconds. I used to do it in 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Can this guy, can this segment just die in a fucking fire, please?
Yeah.
Please?
Well,
James, let me just say this. The Bump has its own sort of audience.
No, I know, but this segment is a fail. That's why I say, just kill it with fire. It's dead. It's done.
Apparently, it's still
every single episode.
Maybe,
over 100
maybe people
seconds.
are gambling on the side. They'll actually go under. I don't know.
So maybe that's the idea. Is that does he go under 100 or does he go over 100? And
let's
people
create a poll. What does the WWE Universe think? Will he go over or under? There's only one.
He went over. What do you win? 4 cents.
20% title.
That's about as much as 4 cents.
Yeah, please get rid of that belt. Anyhow, that's completely off topic, but Daniel Bryan got
it's 4 cents.
Daniel Bryan got interviewed though. Definitely check that one out. That was awesome. He actually started the interview by saying, "Hey yo," and it was just hilarious. Like he was just talking. He literally talking about.
Bryan can make anything look fun and liven up anyone's mood. All right, we needed that.
Well,
that was funny.
Drew Gulak is rubbing off on Daniel. I think just a little bit.
Yes,
just a little bit.
I love this pairing so damn much. You have no idea.
Dude, get Chad Gable in it, please. There's rumors. There's rumors that they want to get him in, and I would be all for that fucking duo. That would be an amazing trio.
And get him in as Chad Gable, not Shorty G. Chad Gable.
That name here.
Yeah, not as your rent-a-cop fucking mascot for the fucking Minnesota, whatever the fuck the basketball team is,
or the Burger King boy.
But then, Daniel Bryan talked about like WrestleMania 30. He says he doesn't have he has more mixed feelings about it because if you guys remember, things of Daniel Bryan's personal life weren't the best because his dad passed away. That's the year Connor Mahalik or whatever, however you say his last name, passed away. But it was also he won the title. He went on his honeymoon, and but he said he feels like WrestleMania 35 is more of a moment for him. But then he went on this raging promo, upset about the fact that that they had to get rid of that Inco-friendly championship, and Matt Camp and stuff pointed out that they had it, but they were upset that they were wearing belts. They had the made out of cows, and he told them to take their belts off, but they couldn't because then they would have had to do the show without pants, and they would get fired. And Daniel Bryan's like, I wrestle without pants all the time, and I'm still hired. Like it was just, it was fantastic.
Oh shit.
And then they brought on Drew Gulak. He was actually live at his compound. I think he was training that day. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna go crazy if he's in quarantine. Look at that. That's a nice compound. Like,
he's covered. He's covered. Compared to others that are literally trying to do everything they can to work out at home or avoid their insanity because they can't access a gym or fitness facility. He's covered.
Yeah. Drew Gulak talked about the pairing with Daniel Bryan. I guess we found out he's been teaching him moves that he can do like while by himself without having to have somebody there. There's actually these videos online of Bryan and Gulak like doing headlocks and duck walks like without anybody there. It's really funny. Go check that out.
Yes, I love it. I love this so much.
Daniel Bryan left, and Drew Gulak, just talked about his career in a nutshell, pretty much. He actually talked about like how he feels like he evolutionized like what cruiserweight wrestling can be. I don't think I can necessarily say that, but I won't disagree with him. Because the way he flips, then it's actually the way he lives his life in real life. Like he doesn't think like cruiserweight should be flying around and all this type of stuff. So obviously,
but they can. They could also be met. What's wrong with flips?
He doesn't like that.
Let them do that.
There's a happy median. Drew Gulak just looks at more of the mat-based focus. There's a reason why he created Catchpoint, for example, in Evolve. And when he reincarnated himself on the 205 Live, he even did some subtle top rope antics, usually a superplex or a splash. But again, he's more of the ground space, technical, old school type style. And I noticed this a lot during the match at Extreme Rules. Best match of the night. Fuck you if you disagree.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that right. This is my point, though. Like the people that argue, oh well, I don't think Cruiserweight should buy. I don't think that like Randy Orton was like,
dive. Yes,
flips,
I remember.
Yeah, that whole thing. And I just look at this and I'm like, let the wrestlers be the wrestlers. If you want to be a mat technician, great. I appreciate mat technician. If you want to do flips, you can do flips. If you want to be a hybrid, be a fucking hybrid. I don't care. Do what you do. I just want to be entertained. That's fine.
James just wants to be entertained. James, you sound like some sort of Italian guy at a pizzeria.
Yeah.
In all fairness, though,
let the wrestler make their own pasta. Let them do the thing. Let them flip around. Let them make the mat sacred. Do the thing. I don't know.
Mama.
In all fairness, though, James.
Okay, he was probably regain control.
He was probably in character saying that, though. Maybe he really feels. He probably really feels that way, but he probably just kicked it up 10 notches because he's in.
No, I know. I'm just saying if he does really feel that way, let people be people, you know.
Yeah. It's that sort of mentality per se.
And
well,
then,
but then if you have that mentality, then he'll then what is he gonna say? Like he wrestles a match with Will Ospreay. You're not doing what you usually do in a wrestling match. Well, then that's boring. Because I want to see Drew Gulak be the match specialist, and I want to see Will Ospreay be the fucking aerial assassin, and I want to see that clash of styles. That's what makes a match so great, is when you have those contrasts of styles.
I agree.
Just saying.
And then it ended with a Tyler Breeze interview. This is when we found out that he was going to face Austin Theory on NXT. So he kind of talked about that. He talked about, like, apparently, too, when he was signed, Austin Theory was only 12 years old because he was signed at 22, which is nuts to think about. He talked about how he's going to use that experience. He says he used to be just like him, but he actually served a purpose in NXT while Austin Theory doesn't. He was in character with the way I'm talking about this. But then they were doing some clowning around. Tyler Breeze kept trying to ask her questions, and she wasn't really answering them because it's supposed to be an interview with him. So they had to keep cutting things out and stuff like that. Tyler. Then he was asked who should get the bump studio? Up, down, down, or the bump? And Tyler Breeze said up, down, down. They were not happy with him, so he's probably not coming on ever again. But I mean, that's his bread and butter. That's where he likes to show up. I know you guys don't watch the bump, but I would definitely recommend watching it just for the Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak segments alone.
I did check that out. When I saw that Drew Gulak was going to be a guest and Daniel Bryan as well, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to actually look at this and tune in. Because I have seen snippets of it on Twitter and on YouTube. For example, Sheamus, he wants his old theme back. I think we all do. And other stuff along that. Kevin
It's
Owens.
a shame. It's a shameful thing. Lobster head.
Lobster head. Why do people F that up? It's like too many lies.
It sounds like lobster head, and he's got red hair.
And too many lines. Too many lines. A green Ireland with the fruit. All right. Anyway.
It's a shameful thing. Lobster head.
But yeah. Then it moves on to backstage for a few weeks. They're doing this watch-along marathon since they don't have a show. Booker T, Renee Young, and Mark Henry were on it this week. They watched Rey Mysterio face Ken Booker for the World Heavyweight Championship from the Great American Bash.
Oh yeah, that critically acclaimed world title run that they freaking did. My boy a freaking misservice.
Yes.
Ooh,
that
was
they watched that one. Then they watched the World Heavyweight Championship match between Kurt Angle and Mark Henry from Royal Rumble 2006, where Daivari was in Mark Henry's corner. But unfortunately, Mark Henry missed the whole match because his Skype froze on him, so he didn't even get to really talk about like his experiences really in the match because his Skype, Hey James, how much is Skype, by the way? Just curious, by the way.
Well, it's probably $10 billion company now, considering how many people fucking use the thing.
Yeah, so yeah, that just shows you that even like high production people like them can't even get Skype working. So at least it doesn't make me feel as bad because and then there's another episode we'll just talk about now because it's actually a fairly noteworthy episode. Dean Ambrose made his return to WWE, baby. You heard about this, right?
Yeah, that's hilarious. He just walked up. Dude, you knew he did this because he knew deep down. This is gonna be funny because Vince is just gonna be fucking seething.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, Renee Young, she's home, okay? She's home with her husband, and her husband was taking care of the dog.
I see Vince having a conniption fit right now. Like,
because no, they didn't edit it out. They didn't edit it out. Because they air these live first, and they didn't edit it out. It's still in there.
The moment the internet broke, holy crap! John Moxley.
Because the thing. So me and Chris talked about this. When they do this type of stuff at the house, they're supposed to be in different places, so they're not gonna interrupt each other. But the thing they couldn't control was the dog. The dog brought back Dean Ambrose. But it was
planned. I'm convinced that was Moxley's plan. Just to
let the dog.
He let the dog loose so he can go get him and be like,
"I got him."
Is this thing on?
That was great. But that was hosted by the same, obviously Renee Young, obviously because Dean Ambrose was in it. So Booker T and Xavier Woods were hosting it. I noticed Paige wasn't on that one. Like I said, Paige and Xavier Woods are never gonna do a thing together again when it comes to working together. They're never working together again.
Oh God! Thank goodness they were not.
They already worked. Yeah, they already worked together once, and shit happens.
Right to censor. Get back on track. Continue on.
But they were each able to pick a WrestleMania match they wanted to watch. Booker T picked Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. And you'll never guess, James, what Xavier Woods picked. Do you want to take a guess? It's not going to be any match that you think it would be. No, if you know, don't say anything.
It's not a New Day match.
It's not a new. It's not even a match. It's a match that like would like WWE probably would never pick this match. Like he clearly picked this match himself. And
It's a Benoit match, isn't it?
Nope.
Really? Okay, that's surprising.
It's not a bad match. So I'll get you out of that department too.
Yeah, Xavier Woods
Okay,
actually
so it's not a
does
bad
respect
match.
wrestling.
It's not a Benoit match. It's not a New Day match. Big boy brain here. Okay. Is it a tag match?
I'm not giving you any more hints. You're on your own at this point.
What the fuck?
I gave you enough hints. I told you it wasn't.
All right.
WrestleMania match. So
come
just
on,
think
come
about
on.
WrestleMania.
If you give me hints, I'm at least doing process of elimination.
What is it,
Alright.
20Q?
No, it's not a tag match.
All right, it's not a tag match. So this is a singles match. Is it a triple threat?
It's a singles match.
All right, so it's a singles match. So that narrows it down pretty good here.
How? There's so many singles matches at WrestleMania. Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, but at least I know it's not a multi-man. All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna pick something random. Undertaker, Mark Henry, casket match. I don't know.
not even close.
All right, what is it?
So the match Xavier Woods picked, I'm gonna butcher the first guy's name, was Taka Michinoku defending his light heavyweight championship.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah, that's the.
Yes.
Can you say the guy's name for me? Because I'm not gonna be able to say it.
What's his name?
It's Agugula. It's Aguila. How do you say that?
No idea.
Aguila?
Agala, maybe?
Agala, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's known as a different name, but I forget the name that they said because I don't remember names very well.
All I know is Taka Michinoku got a shout, my boy.
So this is kind of I not like this, James, but this is kind of hilarious. Booker T was kind of shitted on the match a little bit because he wasn't a fan of it, and Xavier Woods picked this match because this is when he realized he could be in WWE. James, can you stop the recording for a second?
Okay, I must stop. We'll be back after this commercial break. And we're back. There was no commercial break. I fucking lied. This ain't Pro Wrestling Roundtable. That's dead.
But yeah, so that's the match that Xavier. That's the match that Xavier Woods picked. He picked that guy versus Taka Michinoku for the light heavyweight belt. But yeah, he said that he picked that match because that was the match that gave him hope that like someone his size could be in professional wrestling. So it's not like he picked it because he loved the match or anything. That's just gave him hope to be a professional wrestler, and he thought
inspiration.
And again, why was Booker shitting on it like in front of Xavier? Like really?
Because they were no selling stuff. They kept getting up after 2 seconds after everything. So there wasn't psycho. Maybe they should have done Xavier with
psychology. Yeah. As I was talking with Noah before we had to go on our break, Booker T and his multiple Harlem/Houston hangovers in every match in WCW back in the day. Are you fucking me? You were a light heavyweight too, you schmuck.
So there you go. But
real talk though. He's not wrong. Real talk.
The match. Okay. There's no selling. Here's where I say, and this is where I say, the selling argument, right, needs to fucking die to a degree. You should sell to a degree, but nobody's gonna remember that. I'm sorry, no one's gonna remember how well you fucking sold a move. They're just not. They're gonna remember the move, the impact of the move, and they're and I'm talking from a casual fan's perspective, and they're going to remember the story that led up to the finish. That's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember how well you sold. Like, people like me can appreciate how good somebody sold a move. Like, Sami Zayn's like one of the best sellers in the fucking business. But not a casual fan is not going to give a fuck how well somebody sold a move. They're just not. I'm sorry. They're not. And if you are gonna tell me they will, you're a fucking liar, and you know you are.
I'm not necessarily disagree with you, but I do think though, like, it varies on what, like, like, it's not like they were no selling finishers or anything like that. They were just, they do dives.
No, yeah.
But
They
like,
were
if you
doing
got
dives, I'm sure, and Booker hated it, even though Booker used to do like 15 million fucking front flips to no avail every time.
But I feel like it varies on the move that, like, for example, if Jeff Hardy like got speared by Edge off the ladder, got right back up afterwards, then that's logical. You should be complaining about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He sold that perfectly. There was no way you could fake that. That was crazy.
I mean, that's why, like, I don't like necessarily the finish, of, like, one of the Lucha Bros it's the Young Bucks taking a Canadian Destroyer from a ladder, and that's not the finish. But we're getting off into something else. But
that's a discussion for another day.
You can get around it if you pick the Young Buck up and then you just start pummeling him, and then he's like, "Fuck this nonsense," and then he gets right back up. But otherwise, but they didn't do that, which was the dumb part about it, because they didn't pick him up. Why does he just randomly get up? No, get over there, pick him up, start nailing him with forearms if he's gonna get right back up.
But that was backstage though, in a nutshell. Definitely the main reason to watch it though is just to see the cameo of Dean Ambrose. So that's definitely the main reason to watch. And if you want to watch Undertaker, Shawn Michaels again, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. I just recommend watching the match without that commentary, because I just didn't really pay attention to what they said because I was watching Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. So
I was really watching that match 2 nights ago.
This is Vince's mind as he sees it. This is Vince's mind as he saw Moxley come in. Vince is now mad. Vince is really mad. Vince is now mad. Vince is really mad.
Nice. I remember that classic meme. I was actually watching WrestleMania 32, Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar too.
Yeah,
3 days ago.
It was pretty shit.
It was okay.
It was all right, but when you realize what's supposed to happen, compared that to this to what actually happened, it was pretty shit.
Well, we all know the actual story behind it and how but that's, again, we're going way off in the weeds. This is like a whole different discussion. Owen, continue. What's next?
Now it's actually now that I've done all the talking shows, let's actually review like some actual wrestling shows.
Well, we already talked enough wrestling. Might as well start reviewing it.
So we'll start with AEW Dark, which was episode 26. I wanted to do something big for episode 30, but we'll see.
Oh, hold on. Actually, before we get to Dark, I have a very question. Did anybody see the Vice documentary?
Part 1, not part 2 yet.
You have not watched part 2. Okay. So,
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it yet.
All right. I say we got to talk about that next week then, because that documentary, I've seen both parts in full.
All right, we'll talk about
One
that.
hit me hard. I don't know if I'm ready for part 2, but I think I'm actually going to watch it after this recording.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very sad. All I'm gonna say is, fuck it all. Chris Benoit Jr. in AEW, please, because David needs to come in. I don't think David should suffer for what Chris did. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And when you watch part 2, you'll see why I say that. Why I say that.
Fair enough. All right, let's get back on track though here.
AEW Dark though. So this episode of Dark was filmed in front of the empty arena. This time they didn't have the wrestlers there because it was obviously probably all recorded before and after that. This episode of Dark is probably not one of the best episodes, but I'm gonna grade this because AEW actually did the right thing, because they're actually giving these indie wrestlers that can't really work right now actually a chance to work, and I feel like that. I feel like that should definitely be recommended. So I'm gonna I'm gonna mainly base my letter grade off of that. Is this the best show? No, but they did the right thing, and we got. I got
what WWE doesn't do.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, so we had the commentary team of Excalibur and Taz, which is the permanent commentary team of AEW Dark. They didn't have the host.
Have you heard Taz's AEW theme? It's so trash.
I have not yet. No.
It's so bad. the instrumental's great, but they keep having him loop his catchphrases throughout the whole song. He said, "Beat me if you can. Survive if I let." And it just loops and loops.
Is it worth listening to or no?
Yes.
Just because of his reaction, I would say yes.
For the sheer trash nature of the loop and the way they edit the loops. They have an echo too. That's the comedical part of it.
I definitely
fucking greatest.
I definitely gotta check this out. Alright, so literally we can break down this first match and like say Jake Hager squashed Joe Alonzo. Like this dude got no offense. He was done in like a minute. What?
Dude, this guy got
that guy.
mad.
I don't need to say anything about this Dark because I already talked about it in my new series AEW Spark. But I will say this, Lonzo, you got one move in, and then Hager killed you after even.
What was it like? He got a forearm in, right? He got one forearm in, and
he did, and then he got squashed. Period.
Look, it was exactly what it should have been though. Like there's no reason this guy.
I know, that's why I have no problem with it. The guy got his opportunity, and he made Hager look once again like a dominant badass. I thought the Sammy spot was unnecessary.
Can we talk about too? Can we talk about how he got squashed? He literally got squashed because the Hager bomb for
man.
Yep. Up, James froze. We gotta keep going
on while James figures out his recording. Hey, Skype, your $10 billion is great. Okay. Oh, and what's the next match?
So yeah, Sammy
will return shortly.
Sammy Guevara was accompanying Jake Hager inside, but then on to the next match. It was this time, by the way, Brandy Rhodes wasn't doing the win announcing. It was Dasha Gonzalez. That's probably why they didn't have like Tony Schiavone and Dasha Gonzalez host talk like normal, because it wouldn't have made any sense since Dasha Gonzalez is already there, so everyone.
Correct. Tony had to take over the duties for AEW. Well, actually, he didn't do even Dark like talk this week. It was just back matches. They did 6 matches in under an hour. So
you fuck.
Oh wait, I hear Jay.
All right, I think I'm on. Hello.
I hear you, but okay, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm sorry. That was the fucking. I think it's just. I think the bandwidth's having all it could fucking take. Luckily, I was able to get it before it booted me off. Where was I? Oh yeah. So Swagger. I always keep calling him Swagger. I gotta call him by his proper name. Hager did the. I don't even know how else to say it. The most brutal rock bottom I've ever seen, and then he transitioned that into his choke. It's basically the Anaconda Vice, if you remember how Punk used to do it in the day. But he went into a rock bottom with it and just smashes Alonzo.
Is the appropriate term here.
Yeah, you gotta get this right.
Uranagi into the triangle choke. That is a great addition to that finish. That should be the finish from now on.
I feel like it looks more effective, too, from a ground-based position than, like, a sleeper hold standing position, too. Because, again, this is not a wrestling move. It's a fighter move.
Yes.
Yep. Straight up. Well, so I think it is the Anaconda Vice looking at it from that perspective. It was the Anaconda Vice when Punk did it. This is the same thing
and an arm choke
in that sense. So they both are MMA moves.
Yes.
And Hager did it with a wrestling takedown like you would in real life. Oh, there you go.
Pretty much.
I don't think we're gonna see John Alonzo for a while, though. I think he's done for a while. So
I think John Alonzo died. Have you seen this man? Insert milk for John Alonzo.
For all the views, he's fine. He probably got plenty of views for it too.
All right, so then we had the next match. It was Matt Sells and John Cruz with Skylar Moore, who I believe I've heard. Skylar Moore I believe she was on an episode of NXT UK, if I'm not mistaken.
She was also involved in Impact Wrestling. So
that's probably where I've heard of her. They wrestled the the natural. I almost said the Nightmare Collective. The Natural Nightmare with Brandy Rhodes ringside. Yeah, solid match. I don't really remember it all that much because I watched too much wrestling. But I feel me and Jason notice I get that line in there now at least one episode now because I watch too much wrestling. Not as much as Noah.
Me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's crazy. Noah can remember all this stuff, and he watches more than me. I know the Natural Nightmare won. I think they won with a heart attack or something. But
Sort of. It was like he had him on his shoulder, then QT came in, and as he was basically being taken over, it was almost like a drop-down cut type of maneuver. They don't have a name for that move yet either, but yeah, the Natural Nightmares won. Even Skylar Moore coming into play a moment here. So, interesting, Brandy did not come into play at all here, not even trying to, stop Skylar Moore. So more so, I feel like Brandy's trying to find her place in this trio, but I feel like this is a nice setup for this trio. They also talk about how they are trained under the Nightmare Family's coach, Arn Anderson. QT is continuing to find his way in the wrestling ring in AEW, now being mentored pretty much by Dustin, who, let's face it, guys, he's timeless at this point. But yeah, Matt and his partner, they got some good offense in. They did control their opponents for a period, and then Dustin got hot tagged, and it was pretty much over from there. Pretty good match, though. I thought these two had a good showing.
James, what did you think?
I think it was good. Definitely not like Owen. I don't remember much because I watch a lot of stuff.
Well, you're also not JR or Excalibur either. It's not like we're trying to give a play-by-play, but we're trying to highlight what happened.
Yeah, well, there really wasn't much that happened, so there you go. And I think that
standard tag match.
Brandy's there, I feel like, to eventually just hit a spear. Because that's like the one move she could do good.
I was kind of hoping she was going to take up, do it to Skylar Moore, but that didn't happen. I was disappointed.
Nah. I'm just waiting for her versus Leva Bates after that spear, because you're right, James. She does deliver a pretty good spear.
Yes.
Then we had the only real actual match on the show. It was Sean Spears and his tag team partner for this episode. It was Robert Anthony with Tully Blanchard. Spears. With Tully Blanchard ringside versus Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. This was a pretty good match. This was clearly, obviously, recorded either after or before that Dark Order segment. I think this was after because they weren't selling anything. But yeah, this was a pretty good match. Sean Spears and Robert Anthony were getting along decently at first as a tag team. And then obviously, as we've seen in all of Sean Spears' tag team partners, eventually things start to go off the rails. Sean Spears was messing things up at first, but the second Robert Anthony messed something up, Sean Spears was just done with him. Like, you got to do everything perfect for Sean Spears. So he just walks out of the match, and then they hit the best moonsault ever, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. They almost called them their TNA tag team name, but I can't be doing that. Hit the best moonsault ever. I am going to do that because I don't think AEW would get mad if I did that. So, they hit the best moonsault ever. I really like that move. It's really kind of weird, though, how that move gets set up, because they do the tombstone, but it doesn't even look like some of the times Christopher Daniels is even hitting the moonsault half of the time. But they need to get that timing better. But maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll get it someday. So, I thought it was a good tag team match. I'm really disappointed because of the situation going on in the world. We can't get. I don't know if you'll know what you're going to know what we're talking about, Noah, but we can't get Simon Miller to be his tag team partner because I really wanted to see that. But, I guess we got to take what we can get. There's only so much now they can do with the storyline. So, James, what'd you think of this match?
I'm tired of Sean Spears suffering a loss. Just pair him up with MJF. That's a natural progression anyway. Just fucking pair him up with MJF, please.
There you go.
Just do it. Just do it, man. I am tired of seeing this dude lose.
You want to hear what his record is right now?
Horrid. It's horrid because he keeps walking out of his tag matches.
Again, he's his own reason why he's losing here. I thought he and Robert Anthony had a good chance. They had some great tag team chemistry. Both men had a fair amount of miscommunications towards the end, but Spears blamed him overall for it. And yeah, best Meltzer ever. Kazarian pins Robert. But to add insult to injury, Sean Spears, he delivers the C4 to Robert Anthony. In my opinion, though, Robert Anthony was the most impressive of this independent showcase episode of AEW Dark.
Yeah.
Same. Sean Spears is 5-11 right now at AEW. So
Nah. I'm sorry. I want to see Simon Miller just as much as anybody, but this has got to end. Pair him up with MJF and pair him up now. Like as soon as the next Dynamite, pair him up with Sean with.
I'm sure Tully Blanchard is hearing you out, especially with the fact that we saw how these two were in the audience the previous week.
Yeah, no, seriously, just pair them up.
then we had Shuj D versus Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford ringside. That was a fine match. I like the drop kick Penelope Ford hit on Shuj D. Shuj D looked fairly impressive. Kip Sabian won with the bird and hammer into the knee to the head, which is pretty much the feast your eyes, but he has a bit different spin on it. And obviously that made sense. They weren't going to have Shuj D win. And Kip Sabian's on TV weekly, so that just made sense. You got to do what makes sense.
What does he call it? The Deathly Hollows or something?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's his inverted Falcon Arrow. I'm sorry.
That's his inverted Falcon Arrow. They called this basically a ground octopus hole. They kept it pretty basic. Pretty simple match. It was mostly a handicap match for this guy. He had a couple of good offensive maneuvers in, a near fall after a rolling elbow strike that was pretty effective. But in the end, the super bad couple, they prevailed. And again, I expected all the AEW stars to, of course, win this edition. That's not what we were watching this. That's not even why AEW did this. Again, they did this to give independent wrestlers a chance based on what they love to do and what they can't do right now, really, because of the situation we're in. I thought it was an okay show, and I recognize Surge from one episode of Explosion. But again, it's hard to argue right now with the momentum that the super bad couple has been having lately, helping out one another.
Rumor has it they're going to be including Faye Jackson, because Faye Jackson got her entire show canceled that she was gonna run. So I think AEW I think is thinking of bringing her in to like make up for the lost expenses and shit.
That's great.
Nice.
Then we had the only match between two AEW stars. It was Brandon Cutler versus Colt Cabana. When Colt Cabana made his entrance, he was making fun of the 12-sided die. He showed it to the commentators, and he says, "What is that?" Like, I thought that was hilarious. Colt Cabana was just being funny in this match, to play mind games with Brandon Cutler, but eventually Brandon Cutler just finally had enough and just decked him in the face, which Taz recommended he should have done that like 5 minutes ago.
Not wrong.
Eventually though, Colt Cabana wins with the Superman roll-up. I thought the match would be a bit more competitive than it was. Because it feels like right when they started to get something going, the match just kind of ended out of nowhere. So I kind of hope we can revisit this.
Can we push Brandon Cutler, because his gimmick's actually too very, very nice, and they just they have him in face paint and all this jazz, and then they don't put him on Dynamite. Like,
he's been on Dynamite a few times, and by the way, it's a 20-sided die, Owen, and I don't know what he rolled exactly. I don't even know if he did roll it. But yeah, Colt Cabana playing to the audience, or lack thereof. The two are having fun with each other, basically giving each other their arms, pulling each other in. Brandon got serious one moment, and then you thought things would pick up here. There was an up kick. There was an awkward clap that Colt was trying to start with no one there. And next thing you know, the fun-loving Colt Cabana, he wins, of course, with the Superman roll-up while smiling. Game over.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a smile. Like, we need to show someone in the world's at least happy. I guess Colt Cabana's happy, so.
He's trying to make us feel happy, and in the end, Colt Cabana, he just loves wrestling, but he wrestles his own type of style. There's a reason why he and a certain other wrestler are beloved and are successful.
Yes. Then we had the main event. Not the show, so you guys don't have to go to sleep or anything like that, so you guys can stay awake. I thought Chris Dodd was going to be on, so I didn't watch it, but if I knew Chris Dodd wasn't going to be on, we would have reviewed it this week. But
how the bleep is that show still in fucking existence? But I digress.
I'm having like Vietnam flashbacks right now. Just cue the Dago Strings soundtrack as I
what you can't have because YouTube sucks. So
Okay, main event tag match. Back to AEW Dark. Let's wrap this up.
Corey Hollis, who I believe was in NXT UK before, and Mike Reed wrestled Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. It's a squash. I mean, they got some offense in. They didn't get completely squashed like Joe Alonzo. I actually kind of dug the team of Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. I wouldn't make that like a full-on team, but if they want to do that once in a while, I'd be alright with that. They actually won with the elbow split-legged like leg drop combination off the turnbuckle, and that was quite. Yeah, that was pretty. I don't remember who they hit it on. I think I'm just gonna say it was Mike Reed because I don't know who he is. So he gets.
Correct. It was Mike Reed. Again, both of these guys, they've been in business for quite a while. Mike Reed is known as the Great White Hope, and Corey Hollis, he's been in business now for just under 11 years. He's even been involved one time in NXT against the Revival. So anyway,
the minute I heard you say the Great White Hope, I'm like, that sounds racist.
Well, Mike Reed's also like a 30-year veteran, to be fair. Anyway, it surprises me that Corey Hollis and Joey Janela, they didn't have more one-on-one confrontation because I felt like Taz and Excalibur putting over these two, they seemed similar. But yeah, the first time tandem of Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, they got the win here. And these two are two of the most oddball people on the AEW roster for various reasons. I would not mind seeing them as a tag team because so far it paid dividends. And to be fair, Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss do not have the strongest records. Maybe the two of them working together can change that. But yeah, the combination of elbow drop from Joey Janela and then I'm just going to call it a split drop because that looked horribly painful for both men. And yeah, Sonny Kiss pinned Mike Reed.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the end of the episode. So I'm gonna give the episode like a B- an 84 out of 100. It's mainly because AEW did the right thing. They gave these indie stars a platform to work where they can't work right now. So, I mean, you did get some nice matches out of it. You got that good tag match with Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels versus Sean Spears and I almost said Brandon Cutler, but Robert Anthony. Brandon Cutler versus Cole Cabana was a nice match. And I don't know, I felt like I just enjoyed seeing Jake Hagar just destroy somebody. So go around the horn. Let's James, what do you grade this episode of AEW Doc?
I'll rate it. Yeah, probably the same. I'll rate it like 84 out of 100.
What about you, Noah?
I'm just glad they're giving people a place to work considering the climate. So there you go.
What about you, Noah?
In light of the hard times that we are facing right now, I feel like everybody is at least trying. Whether you agree, disagree, some is shit, some is low quality. I'm not grading anything until the world gets back to normal. I just appreciate what AEW has done more than anything else I've seen so far. Giving independent wrestlers and independent wrestling support and a chance. No grade.
How about the fact that they're actually trying to put on a legitimate wrestling show instead of, I don't know, fucking coaxing through the motions, looking at you, Raw and SmackDown.
Breathe, James, breathe. We're not even on that other company because we're about to go into, I think, was the best thing this week. The rundown order is correct.
We are. I'm still gonna get my fucking dinks in.
So do you want to?
I'll let you be you. But anyway, Owen, answer your question. There will be no grace for me until the world gets back to normal.
All right. So I guess we'll do Dynamite next. I was gonna ask, and this would be, well, I'll just start with Noah. Since you haven't been on in a while, what was your favorite What was a segment you really want to talk about? Whether it was awesome, bad, or what is it?
Where do I begin? Because Dynamite always makes me happy, top to bottom, okay? And once again, they handled the empty arena, limited distancing, social activity scenario perfectly to a T. Where do I begin? You had Sammy Guevara giving Brandy Rhodes, on paper, the kiss of her life and our ultimate gift forward / screenshot of the week. You had the instant classic of the best bat machine, Kenny Omega, facing Sammy Guevara for the Mega AAA Championship. And then there could not be enough things said. Yes, this was my favorite segment of the night. The freaking Chris Jericho, Matt Hardy face-to-face confrontation.
Yep.
Talk about it, Noah. Talk about it.
Okay, where do we begin? Let's begin subtly. So first up, we have Chris Jericho, and of course, he's coming out to his theme Judas. And by the way, this week they did a Judas sing-along worldwide crowd challenge call-out to everybody out there in the AEW Fleet, AEW Dynamite audience. And yes, I did take part of it and recorded my own. It is on my Twitter. And basically, they just wanted to say, hey, we might put you on your face, but go ahead and show us your fandom and sing this song. Now, of course, Sammy Guevara wasn't out there this week to sing Chris Jericho, La Champion's theme. So what does Chris Jericho do? He gets a cameraman to do it. And the cameraman, if I was Simon Cowell, I'd be like, that was the most horrible thing I ever heard. Do not quit your J job. But as a fan, I'm like, hey, good job, cameraman. You really laid it on there. And let's not also lose the fact that commentary this week was also improvised by Tony Schiavone, who has not done this type of call-by-call play commentary in years.
Bro,
and that's why he did pretty good job.
And, fucking step.
And he melded very well with both Cody and Kenny Omega, who were his partners throughout the show. But basically, let's start off with Chris Jericho talking about Matt Hardy. He's broken. And he's waiting for him, but who comes out first? Vanguard 1. And I'm like, okay, so we're just waiting for Matt Hardy. But no, this just turns into a full-on subtle promo where Chris Jericho is trying to enlist Vanguard 1 into the inner circle. Despite the fact... despite the fact he doesn't like him. He doesn't like his political views. And he's never liked him. You're a piece of shit. But together, I can give you the finest oils for your propeller. We can rule the world. And literally, Vanguard 1, he hears him out and then just rides away. And he's like, you're going to regret this, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry. That's only half of the segment. I'm sorry. All of this, Matt Hardy finally shows up. We hear a subtle piano, and we find Matt Hardy in the Raptors. And they're at the Daily Place still, by the way. Oh, God. I'm laughing too hard.
Hold on.
And Matt Hardy in full broken look.
I know you're trying to get through this whole thing. He called a drone a piece of shit.
Get it out right now before I continue. Get it out right now before I continue.
That son of a bitch.
Oh, God. I can't breathe.
This
This is wrestling. This is professional wrestling. This is sports entertainment. This is what we fucking needed. Okay? Okay. So Matt Hardy, he's in the Raptors, and he's doing his whole broken thing. And we're just looking on. Best hard cam, opposite of hard cam viewing, by the way. And Matt Hardy's literally, he's teleporting down to the freaking ring. And Tony and Cody and Omega are like, wait, what? Is he teleporting? Yes, he's teleporting. I'm like, wait, what? What sort of sorcery is this? And then we finally get them both.
Is that how Kenny Omega reacted? Is he teleporting? Yes, he's teleporting.
Kenny Omega's sort of like that.
I realize what you just said now. It's like Kenny Omega just like, I've seen this shit before.
Where? In all fairness, Kenny.
On a teleporting in New Japan.
In all fairness, I don't think Kenny Omega was all with it because he had just come off that AAA Mega Championship
Oh yeah, he
match.
probably was a little delusional to be fair, because he just came off an instant 4-star classic with Sammy Guevara. But anyway, finishing this segment, I'm just gonna sum it like this: Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho, they have incredible history. They bring it up, but they also talk about how they both have evolved, but are still the same type of person. And then Matt Hardy talks about how I may be the same through this vessel, but I have evolved. I am now Damascus, brought back from over 3,000 years here to delete you. And then he basically was trying to recruit him to the inner circle. And then at one point, they're literally going, okay, are you inner circle or elite? Delete! That didn't answer the question. Are you inner circle or delete? Delete! Elite, delete, elite, delete, delete, elite, delete. Ah, no! And then they talk about how there are souls everywhere here. And Chris Jericho's like, no, there are no fans here because I ban all fans from AEW until further notice because I'm in control.
About how MLK and Abe Lincoln.
There's Abe Lincoln. There's MLK. You may not feel or see them, but there are thousands of souls here, and I'm just weak. And then he's basically talking about I have a more brilliant broken mind. And then he's talking about I don't see anything. Okay, let me just slap it out of you. And then he slaps him, and then Matt Hardy drops Jericho with one punch. He's like, oh, you can do magic? Okay, I can do magic too. Abracadabra. Matt Hardy gets his ass kicked. Cue Sammy Guevara. So Sammy and Jericho with the 2-on-1 assault on Matt Hardy. And next thing you know, that leads to Omega and Cody coming down to the ring with equalizer, steel chairs. That one steel chair shot to the back of Jericho, and that scream. Ouch. And then as they finally go up to the rampway and they're about to leave, no, we're going to go back down there. What happens? Freaking pyro. And we see Matt Hardy doing her gesture. Delete! And then he does it again. And then he's literally just causing all the pyro to go up. I'm like, what's going on here? We got to go, folks. As Matt Hardy keeps proclaiming, delete! Delete! Delete!
And
that was my favorite segment of the night. Now, you could talk about the rest of the show. And by the way, for those that did not agree with the way this went and like think this is hokey, get the fuck out of here. This was the best thing this freaking week, all right? It was entertaining. It was original broken Matt Hardy, who has full creative control over the direction of his character. Everything about this was absolutely brilliant. Best thing on television this week. Now go ahead and review the rest of Dynamite.
Yeah, I just want to. What I really loved about this thing too, a couple of things. One, I love how Jericho and Matt Hardy were talking without microphones. That really made this segment like awesome too.
I thought they were wearing mics, but yeah, it was just pure voice.
Yeah, that was great. I also loved how AEW actually like brought up the Free to Delete series, because WWE never would have done that. Like, I actually feel vindicated for watching that now. Like, it actually went somewhere. Like, you know, because if you guys watched the Free to Delete series, I'm assuming Noah has. I don't know if you have, James. They
buried him alive.
And Matt Hardy brought up, you know, how he has to pay a debt to the Young Bucks, because if you remember, that's the appearance that the Young Bucks made on his YouTube channel. So I love
the Bucks of youth, Owen. The Bucks of youth.
And I love too how he called Jericho not an asshole, the hole of asses. That was awesome.
The holes of asses.
What about you, James? Anything else you want to put up this?
Is there really anything else to add? Just go watch it. Jericho cuts a fucking promo on a drone, and Matt Hardy teleports.
And now because
there's nothing else to say.
And now because of this, Chris Jericho is doing this to like all his household items. He did it to a
yes.
What is that thing called? The thing that you not the drone, but the thing like the Roomba Buster, right? Whatever it's called,
the Roomba.
Yeah, he did it on a Roomba, and I'm pretty sure on his Facebook Live, he's probably gonna do it on something else when I go watch it. Like,
he does a blender or a food processor. Oh God.
Oh, this is fantastic. All right, James. Then we're gonna put it. So obviously, what other than this segment? What was a highlight for you on AEW?
So a highlight for me, I think, would probably be Cody and Jimmy Havoc, just because I knew Jimmy Havoc, but I didn't know how good he was technically, and he showed a lot to me here. I thought he was fucking great in his match with Cody. I thought the Jake promo thereafter was very eerie and awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Brody Lee's promo. I love his squash match, but I mean, we all knew QT was going to kind of get squashed. But I more like
whoever Brody Lee was going to be in with was going to get squashed. We didn't know it was QT.
Yeah, I knew he was going to take every shot he could and take every shot he did. Because then
talk about that steak dinner promo. Talk about it.
He literally made fun of Vince's excuse me. Like, he made fun of Vince's thing.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Yeah,
like, get out of here, James. Get out of here.
He hated a bad steak. He sneezed. One of his things sneezed. You don't eat until I'm finished. And then the guy walks away or whatever. Basically calling him a Scrooge. Guy sneezes and then he tells him, get out of here! Get out of here! And it's the fucking greatest. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love how he's just taking the piss out of his old boss. Like,
yeah, so I'll talk. Yeah, so obviously I like the Cody Jimmy Havoc match. I really love too before that because they introduced like Cody, Kenny, and Tony Schiavone on commentary. Cody's even like, you know what? Should I go? Should I go into the tunnel? Should I run through the tunnel? Like I even love Cody doing that. Obviously throwing now I like that. That's becoming a thing where he's throwing his equipment to Brandy now, and she like
announcer
who really reacts like a fan. They just had like a nice, really technical match. It ended Jimmy Havoc's 3-match winning streak though, so poor Jimmy Havoc. But I feel like though, like yeah, I feel like he got more from losing this match than the 3-match winning streak he was having anyways though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then I love the Jake the Snake Roberts promo. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lance Archer. I'm assuming he's not facing Cody next week. He's going to face like some enhancement talent because he didn't say necessarily – because Cody said on commentary afterwards, like, you can't just stop by facing me. You got to start somewhere else, which I kind of like that. And obviously the Brody Lee stuff. I understand some people like are hating it, especially people in WWE because it's a reference to Vince. But I love it.
Good. Hate it. Feed me your fucking tears, bitch.
All right, let's calm down. Oh, and don't forget to talk about the audience and how that was handled this week. Hotel room.
Everybody gambling in the back.
Of course they're gambling. The Sean Spears. We had Dasha Gonzalez in weird pink dress. We had Kip Sabian. We had like 3 other people. But yeah, we had an audience, but it was from a hotel
Dasha
room this time.
Gonzalez was like the one that was like hypest out of everybody there.
Yeah, she had the most energy.
I really love. I really love too. Tony Schiavone even brings it up. Like someone even brings it up. Why is she in the guys' locker room? And Tony Schiavone's like, I feel like Dasha Gonzalez always finds it. Like, because me and James have a theory. Like Tony Schiavone, I think he wants to get with Dasha Gonzalez, even though he probably has a wife. But if obviously no,
guys, come on.
Don't you see how he acts around her though when she's on dock with him? Like, come on, man. Like,
of course I do. But still,
Tony a low-key pimp. Just saying.
Look, JR is an old man with similar values, I'm sure. All right, but come on, guys. I've seen JR's Twitter, but
JR technically could do it. He is a free man right now, but Schiavone we know can't.
What do you think,
Audi boy?
What do you think Schiavone would do if? What do you think Schiavone would do if JR and Dasha Gonzalez hooked up though? Like,
oh Lord,
it'd be all sad.
Yeah, so we know JR, by the way, wasn't there because he's more susceptible to getting the thin because of his immune system. Why was Excalibur not there? They never said why. Is it just because?
No, they didn't. But he was there on Twitter on commentary too, because Taz, JR, Excalibur, they were all still on Twitter doing their own little commentary thing.
But yeah,
I saw firsthand.
I enjoyed Brody Lee squashing QT Marshall. That was awesome.
Sister Abigail into that wicked discus clothesline. Jeez.
And yeah, I'll just break down the rest of the show pretty much. Darby Allin. Well, actually, I'll break out my highlight. Obviously, is the AAA Mega Championship match between Kenny Omega and Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah.
That might be the best match of the whole week, at least that I saw, anyways.
What's this?
Yeah, this match was absolutely awesome. You know, I really liked how they, Kenny Omega was kind of a bit. They showed how he was a bit rusty because of the injured arm. So Sammy Guevara had 9 whole match. Obviously, the bit that you talked about with Sammy Guevara kissing Brandy Rhodes is like a paper in the crowd.
Yeah,
and
Cody. That was so weird but funny at the same time.
Didn't he have 2 other people drawn in the audience as well? I forget who they were though.
And then obviously Kenny Omega won, which obviously was by design. I guess you could have taken the AAA Omega title off of him and put it on Sammy Guevara, but I don't think AAA is doing any shows anytime soon. So what's the point of that? And I feel like the match was just so awesome. No one really got hurt from losing the match.
Sammy looked like a star in that match too. He had a counter for everything, but once again, One Wing Angel, nobody kicks out of that.
Nope.
Unlike the Falcon Arrow, because apparently nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow.
The V. Oh, he hits a. I thought
Okay.
I thought at some point too, like Sammy Guevara's head was gonna come off with some of those V triggers that he was receiving.
Man, that move. I love seeing it. Never hope to have it.
But
Yeah.
other things that took place on this show, it's sort of video package for Darby Allin. Basically, he wants to kill the Inner Circle. He wants to light them on fire. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Any
So,
face
He's
any
a
face kid favorite.
pyromaniac, isn't he?
yeah,
He is a little bit of a pyromaniac because every one of his freaking promos involves fire.
and he faced Kip Sabian. He defeated Kip Sabian. This match was very competitive, very good. He won with the
Last Supper.
Last Supper.
Which
Like
is
a
a
modified
leg lock pin,
figure
which
four
I've never
almost.
seen in my life. That was really cool. I like it.
I think he's used that before on the Indies. This is the first time I've seen it in AEW. That was impressive.
I liked it.
I think he's gonna use this for temporarily because there's no reason for him to do the coffin drop if nobody's there. Why kill your
He'll
body?
still do the coffin drop.
He'll still do it. Oh, and get real. This is Darby Allin's evolution as he continues to prove why he is a top rising star in AEW. Very good match, and the two had very good chemistry.
Jake Hager had a video package. I love the music they were using for it. It was pretty damn awesome.
Maybe that should be his theme.
I wish it was, yeah. Then we had Jake Hager squash Chico Adams, who was actually from me and James's area. Apparently, we might have seen him at Top Rope and just forgot about it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they said he was from
Poor
Massachusetts.
Chico just gets squashed, and that was it.
Yeah,
Poor Chico.
I mean, he got more offense than the other guy did on AEW Dark, though, but not much. Then afterwards, John Moxley comes out. He actually lays him out with a paradigm shift, and Jake Hager gets right up from it, which made him look really impressive. He goes for the ankle lock, but Moxley fights out of it. He goes to hit him with the AEW World Championship, but Jake Hager escapes. And
Takes a powder.
afterwards, John Moxley cuts a promo backstage saying that he's gonna attack Jake Hager and says that in our match, if I have to put you in a stretcher, I'm either gonna do it or I'm gonna die trying. So I actually like the fact that that's gonna be Moxley's versus Program because it was technically him that took out John Moxley to begin with because he was the one that really initiated the power bomb. And obviously, there's no need to do Moxley versus Jericho right now. You could save that for a future show. They're gonna go there. They're gonna go back to that at some point. So I'm intrigued. And I'm assuming they have to get away though. How is Jake Hager going to get a world title match if he's not, because he's in the rankings, but he's not the number one contender. I'm assuming if Moxley's asking for the match, I'm assuming that's going to be the out that he could get a world title match.
They'll probably do like some crazy stipulation type fatal four-way in a one contender. Because clearly the guys in the rankings, like the women did in that four-way, that was really awesome by the way, the previous week. They're going to face each other eventually because right now you got the likes of Cody, Omega, and MJF there with Hager too. Hager getting the rub in a match against those three guys by hook or by crook, bam, there's your number one contender.
Then the only other thing was we had a medical update on Nick Jackson. Vanguard 1 goes to like his compound where he's training. We find out that he's at like 66.7% or something.
61%.
Yep, and good to know. I hope he's feeling. I don't want to say feeling better with the state of the world, but I hope he's healing pretty well. There you go. I thought it was a different way to do a medical update than just them sitting there telling us about it. It was
they sent Vanguard 1.
And
Best
afterwards,
camera in the business.
And afterwards, Taz, he does a show afterwards. It was actually quite cool. I don't know if you guys watched Taz do his reaction to it afterwards. I don't know if that's going to be an every week thing or if this is just, obviously, if this is just happening because of the state of the world that they want to put smiles on people's faces. A lot of people are trying to troll Taz in the comments, and he kind of shut those down. It was pretty funny.
It was great, man. It's like, I'm going to maybe wrestle again. No, I can't do another suplex. I'll probably break my back. I can see myself maybe managing like Santana Ortiz. Those are my boys but they're under their circle right now. They're in a good spot with Chris Jericho. So
I really enjoyed, by the way, Taz even said like he was talking like it was actually his opinions on the show. He wasn't, just praising them. He didn't really trash anything that they did, but if you watch the thing, you could definitely tell like the all Taz's opinions. He's probably not.
Yeah, it was just his opinions of the product he works with, but has very little as far as knowing of the way the product is going to go. And he even brings that up. He's not creative. He's just commentary.
Absolutely.
Great.
That was AEW Dynamite. I still enjoyed the show. I guess the only drawback is you could kind of feel like that this show was thrown together a little bit, but they get a little bit of a pass because obviously this was supposed to be the blood and guts show. But I still thought they put together actually a great professional wrestling show. I'm going to give it like an 89 out of 100, a B+. Not an A show, but
I disagree. I give it like a 93 because I really thought they did a lot of good shit.
2 weeks in a row, guys. These guys are handling the empty arena scenario the best way possible. And yes, it was thrown together, but not recaps, not just talk, not just filler, original content, great matches, continued story building. You can't ask for more than that from a wrestling product today. From us, wrestling fans always wanting to crave that. Because you're right. Originally, we're going to get Luchasaurus versus Wardrobe in a lumberjack match, and the Best Friends versus Lucha Brothers in a street fight. Well, that couldn't happen. So what they do, they change it on the spot with ample timing. They gave us Cody versus Jimmy Havoc, which is Jimmy Havoc's best match to date. They gave us a championship match out of nowhere against Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega that was really good. And we're continuing to see the involvement of Jake Hager, and Darby Allin continues to impress us. You can't ask for more from a better wrestling show, not to mention the end promo from Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho. If that did not make your week, make you laugh, and make you enjoy wrestling, I don't know what was entertaining. I don't know what will. Again, I don't grade, but AEW is still the best thing of the week.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
now let's talk about NXT.
It's not bad because they did have matches, and I actually did enjoy that too. Aaron Riff calls me crazy because I simulcast. It's not like I simul-tweet. I just love wrestling. But let's go ahead and talk about NXT, the black and gold.
So the one thing about NXT that they did that the main roster finally got away with, done away with, is they don't have chairs in the crowd, because that's so dumb to have chairs in the crowd when nobody's there. So I love the fact that NXT got rid of that. Was this supposed?
Should have. And now we know. And by the way, now we know why it was gone off Raw. Because I guarantee you, they taped that before. What was it? They taped that before. What was it? Monday Night Raw. They had to have. There's no other way. They've
already taped. They said I think the next 2 weeks or next week of content, dude. So yeah, everything at this point has been taped as far as WWE's concerned.
I like the fact that they got rid of that. And the commentary team was Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton. I'm not a big fan of that, but I understand because Mo Ronaldo, he's probably more susceptible to getting it because of his age. I don't know how his mental state's doing right now, too, hearing all this negative stuff. I believe Nigel's susceptible. He's probably susceptible, right, to getting it because he had hepatitis. Didn't he have hepatitis B?
I think he's cleared of it now.
But he still had at one point, which means his immune system is not as strong as it was before he had that. You got to remember, you get through a condition, no matter how long ago it was, your immune system is never the same. Hence why Rome is now. Yeah, but that's another story for another day.
I'm definitely going to talk about it when we get to SmackDown.
I'm sure Owen's just going to give you SmackDown because I sense this is going to be a conversation where I'm going to need to get another cam out and do. But let's focus on NXT because it was not bad because we actually got matches.
So, James, what was the highlight for you with NXT? Oh, did you not see NXT yet?
I mean, obviously the highlight was Gargano and Ciampa with Triple H.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, it's everything you would expect. These two can't fucking stand each other. And that's what I love about it. It's like the best feud in WWE, period.
This is actually... I watched NXT first because of that segment alone.
I also liked what was it? The Samoan, I don't even know what you call them. Whatever. What the hell were their names?
They do not have a name, but yes, I know what you're talking about. A debut of a new tag team faction that could be maybe offers a Pain 2.0 in their own way. These are big boys. Yeah. They destroyed the original Bro.
So I'll talk about the DIY Triple H thing first. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was more of the night too. Go ahead.
Triple H, comes out and he pretty much talks about how Ciampa and Gargano has been like the best feud ever in NXT, which is actually true. Like it probably is the best feud ever in NXT.
I agree.
True.
And before he can really finish his sentence, Ciampa comes out and he says he just wants to handle this right now. And Triple H says that you're not going to handle this right now. I don't need to destroy another building tonight. So he says we're going to put out Johnny Gargano, but you're not going to do anything. So then Johnny Gargano comes out. You know, I feel like this showed how big this was because Triple H was the one getting involved in this instead of William Regal. That shows you right there that they messed up.
Oh yeah.
And Triple H even says like if it wasn't for me, you guys would be fired right now. William Regal was ready to fire you guys, but I had to talk him out of it. So Triple H says that they have to finish this. And Ciampa and Gargano talk about how NXT is still not big enough for the two of them. They talk about how they're the face of NXT. So Triple H, says we have to finish this at a big stage. But Gargano and Ciampa keep saying we don't need a big stage. We just need a ring, a building, and a referee. Triple H then says, "All right, we're gonna finish this." And I like how he says too, like it's not necessarily gonna be like a loser leaves NXT match, but he does say like this is gonna be it. If this continues afterwards, you're both fired. So this is gonna be the end of the feud. Because I guess like if they're gonna do a loser leaves NXT match, I feel like Gargano would probably lose just because like Ciampa says he never wants to go to the main roster, and it's more likely Gargano will.
Do you think either one of them wants to? Let's be real. Do you think either one of them fucking want to go to the main roster?
No.
But I think more specifically, Ciampa doesn't want to because he said his body can't handle that schedule. So
no.
Then they're gonna finish it. Johnny Gargano says, "Wait, I can't finish it next week. He airway crashed me off of that like standoff thing.
Perks they call it.
I need 2 weeks." So Triple H says in 2 weeks he's gonna give him like a location. And they're going to go to that location, and the only way that this match can end is if the referee deems that one of them can't continue. So that was not the end of the segment. Then we've been seeing like these vignettes of like a church clock ticking, and we don't really know who it is. We find out it's Killer Cross. So that confirms. But that confirms though that he's not the hacker now on SmackDown. So that kind of sucks.
Oh God, that means this thing is gonna be bad.
Yeah,
this is all what it is. This is gonna be trash. Whoever this is.
I talk about what I was doing at the thing on SmackDown or this thing on NXT.
Oh, the hacker stuff.
It's Ali, folks. Just face it. It's Ali. It's Ali on SmackDown.
It has to be.
I do. That makes sense. I do have a question though. Doesn't Triple H technically not have any power in NXT right now because he just got demoted? So doesn't technically not run it?
I don't fucking know. I think they demoted him by name, but I think he still runs NXT. I think he's supposed to run all of talent operation. I think he's just I think it's a fancy way of saying he's the head of talent relations in all of WWE. I think that's what
correct. Yeah, it's like a promotion in one grade, but a demotion from another. It's like he gains more responsibility in this aspect of the job, but he loses some power in this aspect. As far as I'm concerned, Triple H will always be in charge of NXT.
Because I like this segment, but that was the only thing I was kind of thinking about. Like, wait, doesn't Triple H technically not have any power anymore? But you guys just answered my question. So, yeah, that was Noah. What did you think of the DIY thing and obviously the Killer Cross thing?
I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa is a modern-day Shawn Michaels and HBK rivalry brought to the fullest.
Shawn Michaels HBK. Huh?
Shawn Michaels Haley has some demons then.
The only thing they haven't done at this point is a Hell in a Cell for 46 minutes with a low roof, okay? And I rewatched that match too.
No, you're not seeing. I don't think you don't know what. How do you not see what you did?
What are you talking about?
You just claimed that Shawn Michaels fought HBK in the greatest feud in a modern day grudge match. I mean, I knew Shawn Michaels had some demons, but I mean, that's some meta shit right there.
Take it as you will, okay? I stand by what I said. But because again, at one point.
No, I don't think it get. I don't think it.
Not situation with Shawn Michaels in this.
Shawn Michaels v HBK.
No, that's not
Shawn
it.
Michaels versus Triple H. You said HBK.
Oh! Whoops! My bad. I'm out even Mania.
You
Okay,
killed James.
here's why.
You,
This is Triple H versus HBK brought to the 21st century. You're welcome, Internet. But
you,
the only thing they haven't
killed
done
James.
is Hell in a Cell with a low roof. Now, with that being said, I enjoyed this segment, okay? I even enjoyed the cinematic story that was told 2 weeks ago, last week from this. And then, of course, I remember the whole thing where they destroyed the Performance Center. I felt like it was right for Triple H to do this and for Triple H to handle the situation. And the fact now they're going to do this not under the bright lights and in front of everybody, this type of conclusion to a rivalry, James, you okay? Makes the most sense for an empty arena type setting because this is beyond business. This is personal. This is about who is the heart and soul, who is NXT. And we're going to finally find out that answer in 2 weeks. So I really enjoyed this segment and everything that was told. And the fact that at one point, Johnny Gargano wished he was the one that broke Ciampa's neck. But Ciampa says, I've given up everything. I risked my life. I broke my damn neck. I sacrificed my life. Try to get it back and you cost me that. Yeah, this is not business. This is personal. These two have gone to war, have been friends, been enemies, frenemies, and cost each other the biggest moments of their career. All right, you're finally back together. Jeez, I make one botch and I already broke the rundown. Anyway.
Bro,
Yeah,
All I know is after this feud, I can't wait to see Johnny Gargano versus Johnny Wrestling, or my favorite feud to date. I can't wait to see Psycho Killer versus Tommaso
The
Ciampa.
Goosebumps special brought to you by WWE, and it will feature Scooby-Doo. But anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed this segment. Now, as far as the Killer Cross thing, I have no idea what the fuck was being said. I don't know if that was backwards or satanic. But then again, everybody prays the toll. And the clock struck midnight. The end is near. It leads me to believe that whoever wins this Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa match, that is going to be Killer Cross's first feud. I really hope he does not get involved in the match during it and either plays towards the victory or causes the match to be thrown out in its entirety. This could go really good or really bad. The setup is there. The story is there for this empty arena pay-per-view level match to actually work. But Killer Cross does not need to be involved in my opinion.
Oh, the best part I love too. I love how Johnny Gargano was talking about how Tommaso Ciampa destroyed the Performance Center, destroying the mirrors, and he said he tried to run through a window to get away from me. Like, I love that so much. That was great.
And why am I being fined for destroying it? He's the one that threw the freaking weight at the mirror. Yeah, man, that mirror shattered.
All right, so Noah, what was the highlight for you? What was the highlight? Something you really liked, something you really hated on NXT?
I mean, NXT, you really can't find something to hate about. There's just some stuff that's like, meh. But as far as what I really loved, Io Shirai came back. And she's involved in the ladder match. Io Shirai is one of my favorites, the Josie Judas, as she's called, the evil genius of the sky. There was no way in hell Leah was going to win. Let's face facts, okay? The day Leah and Vanessa gets over is the day they beat the Iconics for the women's tag team titles. And they're MIA too. But seeing Io Shirai back really made me happy because, again, we didn't know where her future stood or where she was basically thinking right now, okay? There's been mixed feelings
by
about...
the way, Aaliyah has the worst team in WWE, bar none, period.
Worse than the B team? Anyway.
No, I mean, right now in WWE, it's the worst.
Hmm.
Bing,
I
bing,
think that's
bing, 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 bing.
All right. Also, Samuel Shaw, you might remember him from Impact Wrestling TNA. He is debuting soon. Dexter Lumis, I saw him live on all 3 days of the NXT road trip. Yeah, that's going to be weird. And as far as the North American title goes, this is probably my only grievance with NXT. I still feel like the North American title is still truly finding its champion to really push it above what it is now. When you think about a lot of the champions been short-term or traditional or just holding it, not anyone has really done something with it. So I'm hoping that after this triple threat that got made happens, we'll finally get a real champion. But I will say this. I like Keith Lee holding the belt. I feel like he really respects it and wants the best competition from it. But I keep saying Dijakovic is a champion waiting to happen. So I got mixed feelings about this North American title picture. I don't hate it, but I still feel like it's still not fully defined.
All right, so going through your points. So yeah, obviously I loved Io Shirai's return. That was awesome. She took out Xia Li. And that got her into the match. That was great. I loved.
Xia Li got taken out. Botch. Remember?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Xia Li versus Aaliyah, but Xia Li got mysteriously taken out. So Aaliyah thought she was just going to sweep into the ladder match. Guess what? There was a different opponent in her place. As soon as I saw that, I heard that first vibe, I knew exactly who it was. I could not be happier. And Io Shirai squashed her.
I'm looking forward to seeing Dexter Loomis. Can't wait to see him.
Don't look, guys, don't look into the man's eyes.
I think he's gonna kill somebody.
Well, he's a stalker. If you remember, he's weird. I'm just gonna say that he's weird.
I'm really excited about the North American Triple Threat match. I really like the segment they did to set that up. I like, Damian Priest's role in it. How he doesn't want the title because he's worked hard and all this type of stuff. It just means more money and more fame. And you don't really hear people talk about that when it comes to titles anymore. I really like how Keith Lee and Dijakovic are working together to try to take this guy out. They still kind of like have that love-hate relationship with each other.
Well, considering Keith Lee powerbombed Dijakovic 3 weeks ago after Keith Lee successfully defended his title against Cameron Grimes, you really think they're still friends?
Probably not.
They're friends. They're frenemies.
But yeah, continue.
Hey, they're no friends in wrestling.
My highlight of the show was obviously the Matt Riddle Roderick Strong match. Obviously, with what we haven't talked about yet, it wasn't as good as the 25 match, but it's really tough to top. But it was still, a really damn good match.
Best match of the night.
Matt Riddle just fist pumping nobody. I thought was awesome.
I love him.
And he actually had the best counter for Roderick Strong's forearms off the ropes. He ended up just countering into the Bro Derek out of nowhere. That was awesome.
Yep.
And afterwards, the three, the big Samoan guys come out, the two of them. If you watch Worlds Collide, not the most recent one, but the one where they had the men's battle royal, they were in the battle royal.
Correct.
And they lay out Matt Riddle. Then we had the debut of Malcolm Bivens, and if you watch the bump, this is a running joke of the bump where he keeps trying to hack the bump, and he was trying to be a guest on the show. I didn't know who this guy was, and I guess I found out he was a wrestler. And even it's Evan T-Mac and Ryan Papolo even say they messed up because they should have had him on, because now he's probably not going to want to be on because he's bigger than the show now. So, you guys messed up. Should have had him on the bump. And I don't know when we're going to see Pete Dunne again because he's stuck in the UK, which I thought he moved to the United States, but I guess he's in the UK because he's checking on his family and stuff. So
Bro needs his broser weight.
So I don't know. Yeah, so I mean they could take the titles off of the Broserweights, but I don't know. I wouldn't be against it, but I feel like that would just be a huge step down as tag team champions because the Broserweights are just doing so well as tag team champions. I get they have to lose the belts eventually, but I just don't think they should be losing them for like a year.
NXT tag team division still needs to reshape itself. It needs more competition. They've already ran through the Undisputed Era, and you really think Forgotten Sons are going to be the tag team champions?
Who?
Oh, wait. Sorry. I forgot.
Other things that happened on the show, it kicked off with Austin Theory versus Tyler Breeze. This match really worked without the crowd because you could actually hear them talking trash to each other, and the stuff that they were saying was actually really cool. Austin Theory was hyping himself up by using the same words Tyler Breeze said by saying "I'm a flash in the pan, huh? I'm a flash in the pan," and eventually he cost himself the win when he tries to film hitting the fireman's carry TKO on the Tyler Breeze, but Tyler Breeze counters into the beauty shot, and Tyler Breeze won. But I actually thought Austin Theory looked really strong for losing, and he only lost because he got too cocky at the end. I feel like, too, with the way they did the finish, this sets up another match for the future. So,
I can see Tyler Breeze and Austin Theory going the distance. Why did you mess with the man's phone? You already had your downfall from there. Pretty good match, though, for Mr. All Day.
What about you, James? What did you think of that match?
This was definitely I really liked this match just because of the story that was told. I liked how they were talking trash, and I think Austin Theory is going to be a fucking star.
Oh, absolutely. And then we had Killian Dane versus Tawanti Miles. I don't know.
Squash.
Yeah, it was a squash. That's all. That's it. So, obviously, Killian Dane was the one doing the squashing, literally, almost literally too. Like this guy is. I mean, not as bad as that other guy from AEW Dark, but it was pretty bad. I thought I wanted. I don't think there's any relation to Jordan Miles, but because that's a slave name, so we don't talk about that. So, Cameron Grimes. I forgot. James, what do you think of that match? I forgot to get your thoughts on that squash.
I did. Somebody call his parents. I think Killian Dane. Yeah, I think Killian Dane killed him.
Okay.
I think he died.
Cameron Grimes wrestled Tony Nese. This is one of those I always feel like it gets.
That was a sleeper. That was a sleeper of this night, I think.
I feel like definitely.
I still think Cameron Grimes should be part of the Cruiserweight division, but he's just over it. Being a former X Division champion, I knew he would gel well with the Cruiserweights. He and Tony Nese, very impressive match.
It was one of those matches. I feel like I get this once a week. One of those matches you didn't know you wanted until you got it. And Cameron Grimes ended up winning, which kind of makes sense because he's the one that's getting more of the push right now in NXT. It sucks he's just over the weight limit of the 205 Live division. Like, he just barely doesn't make it.
They could lie about it.
I mean, they did it for Cedric with all those years.
That is true.
Poor
I bet
Cedric.
yeah, poor Cedric. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch squash Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink. I like Shane Thorne, but this Brandon Vink guy, I mean, it's only his first couple of matches. I'm just not really feeling him right now. He was his
tag partner during the NXT road trip. All 3 shows I went to, taking on the Bruiserweights for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The two work pretty well together. They are no TM61 by any means.
What did you think of that match, James?
It's all right. It was all right.
Adam Cole.
Baby!
It really sucks we didn't get that celebration because that would have been a gold segment. But, you know, we got a little bit of it. He said he's on vacation, but really everyone's kind of on vacation right now. But I guess he's on a good vacation, I guess. And he talks about how the Velveteen Dream thinks he's going to take the NXT Championship from him. He talks about, too, how he's been the king of a lot of first ever War Games winner, first ever North American champion, longest reigning now NXT champion. And he says that Velveteen's Dream win-loss record doesn't qualify him to get a title match. So he said, if you want to get to me, you have to get through Bobby Fish first, because he says that Bobby Fish wants to get his hands on him. So, yeah.
So basically, he's just going to run through the entirety of the era before his match with Cole.
You might as well just do a gauntlet match if that's the case, James.
Might as well, yeah. It was a good promo though, because Adam Cole never disappoints with that. I don't think he's ever had a bad promo in his life. So.
Nope. Well, I mean, in his early start, there's like a wrestling documentary on how he became the Panama Playboy. Go watch it on YouTube if you get a chance. He's definitely found his way, and that's undisputed.
What do you guys think of that promo? Who do you see winning that match next week with Velveteen Dream and Bobby Fish?
It's gotta be Velveteen Dream, because you know what we're heading towards, as you have not disclosed yet. Over the next few weeks, they're literally going to do NXT TakeOver Tampa matches live on Wednesdays. We have no idea when this is coming, but we know for damn sure the last match we're going to see on this weekly TakeOver showcase is going to be the Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship.
Then we had
that's if that even happens with the current climate.
True, it could get a lot worse. Cards predict to change. World changing day by day. But again, I'm being optimistic.
Then we had the another NXT Women's Championship number 1 contenders ladder match qualifier. It was Candice LeRae versus Kaden Carter. They had a nice little match. It was fine. Yeah. Candice LeRae won by making her tap out. I never really noticed, because you don't really hear I never really hear her talk that match, how high pitched Candice LeRae's voice is, because you could really hear it in this match. But
yeah, she does have a bit of a higher voice. I heard that ringside in Cleveland. But hey, Candice wrestling, she wins with the Gargano escape. I guess that would be the LeRae escape now, because her last name's not Gargano. But yeah, nice, respectable bout, because her and Kaden they're decent friends. I thought it was a good match, but I knew right away who was winning this.
What'd you think of that match, James?
It was a very good match. Definitely one of Candice LeRae's best showcases, I think. Because you don't see a lot from her in NXT. I hope this is a start for better things for her. What do you call her finish if it's not Gargano?
LeRae escaped.
Lock? The LeRae lock? I don't know.
I like that, but I guess time will tell. Speaking of which, she was interviewed, I believe, after that about not only the ladder match, but the whole situation with Johnny Gargano. I love the fact they're finally letting her focus on herself and her career than just being the go-to person / Johnny Gargano's wife. This is what she should have been a long time ago.
But now we know we're getting a gauntlet match on the next episode. It's going to be
Last Chance Gauntlet.
Everyone that failed to qualify originally, which everyone that should be. I don't mind it, but the main roster does gauntlet matches so much. When I see them now, I just dread them. So it's not NXT's fault. This is the main roster's fault. So
I feel like NXT will pull it off because again, these women can actually wrestle, unlike some people that are just there by name value. But anyway, I look forward to this, and I'm pretty darn sure that Dakota Kai is going to win this because Dakota Kai is not done with Tegan Nox, not by a long shot. And Tegan Nox is already in this match. Plus, she was voted as breakout star for the year this year. If she's not involved in this ladder match, that just goes right out the window.
And in 2 weeks, we have a loaded show. We have not only that Ciampa Gargano match, we're going to have that ladder match on the same show. So we have a loaded NXT. I might watch NXT.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go.
It'll be interesting. Interesting. Wednesday, April 8th. The week that WrestleMania is over.
Yeah.
Does NXT? But do you think though, since they're giving away these takeover matches now, do you think NXT, if it does beat it, is going to come close to beating Dynamite one of the weeks?
Unfortunately, no. And here's why. No matter what, this is WWE, and WWE has a history of bad booking and creative that has driven away a lot of people. Now, since AEW's come back, they have brought back some of that audience to AEW because they're showing you something different with their unscripted nature. I honestly don't know what's it going to take for NXT to beat AEW again, but these matches right here under an empty venue, I don't think will be enough.
No, it comes down to the fact that, and Steve on the reactions during AEW Revolution kind of pointed it out best. They're so pissed off at WWE that they will take it out on NXT and watch AEW instead. That's the sad reality of the situation.
Simple as that.
And it sucks for NXT, but I see their point because first off, NXT is going to produce a good show anyway, so you can watch it later. Dynamite needs that viewership, and people know that Dynamite needs that viewership, and that's why people watch Dynamite. And Dynamite also, doesn't excuse, we're just going to get this because we're new. They actually give you something must-see every time, and that's just how it's going to be.
I'll just say it like this to sum it up, James. Dynamite feels different every week. NXT feels relatively the same.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It has a sameness to it. This week it definitely felt different just because of everything going on. But
right,
most weeks it always feels the same, and that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I thought NXT was a good show. I'm gonna give it like a B-, 84 out of 100. I'm gonna save it. Actually, I thought it was a really good show. I'm gonna give it like an 86, mainly because of the Matt Riddle match and the Gargano segment.
Yeah,
I think what hurt the show is this kind of felt like the old NXT format, just combined into 2 shows, pretty much.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was kind of disinterested except for the few segments I liked.
But like I said, we're in volatile times, so not really a lot they can do.
Kudos for them for trying, also too.
Yeah.
At least they're trying. Unlike
And then-
some people, which we'll get to.
We're almost there. We got one more good show. Let's keep the good behavior going. Then I'll let you rant. I'll go drink a Mountain Dew. Let's
So
go
let's,
to the UK.
Well, first, ratings were in, because this is what, I believe AEW did what, over 7,000, and NXT did 6,000, so NXT went up, AEW went down. But if we do check the, because NXT didn't make the top 50, and NXT was AEW was the 23rd. It is tough.
I think part of that is because just everybody's at home, so there's more options. I'll tell you though,
you
after
gotta find other
Dynamite,
ways to entertain yourself too. So
well, the funny thing is, what I did after Dynamite was I posted it on Facebook. I watched the Jack Reacher movies, which I didn't know existed, and now that I know that they existed, thanks to Dynamite having them right after, I really like Tom Cruise and I really like Jack Reacher films. So there you go.
And Owen, I got the official numbers here for you. Thank you, by the way, Wrestling Business Daily. As they call it Wednesday Night War, I just call it Wednesday Night Wrestling. But since you want it, here it is. NXT from last week with 542,000, they jumped up to 669,000. AEW from last week's 900.
Hold on. No,
but
you cut out. Say that again. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it again. NXT went from 542,000 to 669,000. AEW went from 932,000 to 819,000. AEW still won dominantly. If you're keeping track, AEW is on a 13-week streak. The current score, AEW 21 weeks, NXT 3 weeks, and they were tied once.
Yeah.
Also, AEW went down because a lot of the news shows are taking their viewership because of this pandemic going on right now. So
Exactly.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Hopefully this shit fucking ends soon. This is getting ridiculous. I have a request. Owen, while you do the NXT UK, I did my NXT UK thing already. I did it on the NXT party, and I'm really hungry and I want to make food. Can you review it, and I could sit this review out and go make food?
Yep. So if you want James's thoughts on NXT UK, then go watch the Tea Party.
Yes.
It's episode 80. It's episode 88, right?
Yeah, it's episode 88. It's the recent episode that Jerry and Stefan just posted.
So you want me to kind of milk this review a while then, so that way you can be back in time?
Yeah, I shouldn't be too long. I really shouldn't be that long.
All right.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so if you want James's thoughts on NXT, by the way, Noah, are you still here? By the way, making sure you're not frozen on me because you were just in one position. So
I was just reading something. You're fine. I'm here.
all right, so NXT UK. This like I said, I talked about it with some people. Actually, I think you and I talked about it before. NXT UK is the most unique show of the week because of the tape-ins. They're the only one in front of a live crowd right now.
Correct.
I mean, that it's them, Impact, and ROH. Is ROH already caught up with the tape-ins?
I don't remember. I'm not sure.
But they're the three most unique wrestling shows right now. But to me, it's NXT UK because that was the only ones I were able to watch. But it really makes you miss the crowd in the wrestling shows because you really notice how much the crowd can make them. I mean, you always notice, but you don't. It's one of those things you don't really notice what you have until it's gone. So
yeah, we're the most important part of wrestling. It's as simple as that.
The commentary team was Nigel McGuinness and Andy Shepard. What do you think of that commentary? Yeah, they're great. The win announcer, I forget her name, but
it was announced this week. Francesca, I believe.
And they got a new one last week, but I forgot to. So they have a new intro now. It's a bit different. You know, they've tweaked it a little bit.
A few shots.
And it kicked off with Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel versus Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. Kind of a squash, but Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter did get enough offense. They almost won at one point. I actually was getting scared because I didn't really want to see Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel lose. But they ended up winning with the
European bum.
Yep, and that was just that. They won. They won fairly decisively. What do you think of that match?
You already know I'm all about Imperium. For the Mott is sacred. And again, Fabian Eichner, Marcel Bartel, incredible tag team. But I do like the fact that NXT UK, I feel their tag team division is much more evolving than regular NXT. I like their tag team division. This new recent duo of Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith with new music, I might add. So you really know they are a tag team. It sounds like something out of a Dunk video game. I really enjoyed their theme. I thought they had a decent showing here. And again, one spot they came this close after blocking one attempt at the European Bomb. But the second time wasn't blocked, and then they got planted, and that was it. Imperium once again proves why they are the most dominant tag team or faction, basically, in NXT UK, and why their mission statement holds up. So, good match.
We had a video package for Gallus. They talk about, at least from what sometimes it's hard to understand them because of that Scottish accent. So I'm gonna try. They pretty much talk about how they may have made NXT UK their kingdom since they're the tag team champions. But Joe Coffey is gonna be in the Battle Royal and he's gonna throw out everybody and he's going to move on and dethrone Walter for the UK title. I don't think he's winning the Battle Royal, but I think he's going to get like the most eliminations or something like that.
Like, got us boys on top. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that Battle Royal as the Iron King takes on 19 other men in an over-the-top rope Battle Royal to see who faces La Ring General at NXT UK TakeOver Dublin, which unfortunately got delayed. But I will say this, at least it's not canceled, just delayed.
So they're probably going to do the match not at Dublin then, because that's way too long to sit out that match. They're probably going to do the match at a different show.
It depends, because you got to remember, they do tape NXT UK in advance, hence why we had an audience. For all we know right now, we don't know when the next NXT UK tapings are, because they only do them in sets. So we'll have to see. They already, spoiler alert, they already freaking did the freaking winner. I just haven't looked it up yet, because I live hashtag spoiler, they're free.
Same. We'll just say throughout the night they did promos with a bunch of wrestlers about the Battle Royal. Mustache Mountain, Alexander Wolf. That's interesting that he's going to be in the Battle Royal. We had one for Dave Mastiff. We had one for
Cassius
Flash. Yep. Unfortunately, James isn't in here to rant about him, but there's nothing to rant about because he didn't wrestle this week. But James, he's always going to take the opportunity to rant on Cassius Ohno.
Oh, I know he's going to rant about R.I.P. Chris Hero. Trust me, I'm well aware. And yeah, Flash Morgan Webster, even though he's worried about the situation with Mark Andrews, don't know who did, wants to find out, he'll be involved in it too, as well as some other people we learn will be involved in it based on matches we saw later in the show.
Yes. Well, since we're on who do you think was winning the Battle Royal? I think Finn Balor is going to win the Battle Royal. He's going
to... Look, I've been saying it all along. I'm waiting for them to bring over-the-top wrestling storyline between Walter and Jordan Devlin to NXT UK. But there's no way I see them literally doing the Irish Ace while he's still NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Although that would be an incredible idea to showcase. It's got to be Finn Balor. He's already taken it to Imperium. He had the face-to-face confrontation with Tyler Bate, though Tyler Bate wants him one-on-one. And I feel like Finn Balor is going to be the one to eliminate Tyler Bate to win the whole thing. I think it's going to come down to those two.
Absolutely. Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith get interviewed. They get made fun of by Pretty Deadly. They're doing a feud between them. And then they talk about the Battle Royal. It's a nice little feud, but it's nothing that, will knock your socks off or anything like that. Or in this case,
to be fair, Pretty Deadly, they're new prospects, and they got the win over Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter, so they're going to brag about it. So they're trying to find their place as heelish characters of the brand.
We had Eva Valkyrie versus Nina Samuels. So remember last week, Nina Samuels, me and Chris even said, she said she's going to take out Eva Valkyrie, and that's going to be all we're going to talk about next week. That didn't happen. She didn't do nothing like that.
Nina tried, but the Valkyrie, I said it on Twitter. The only one able, in my knowledge, to take down a Valkyrie is Kratos from God of War. Nina Samuels, you are not that. You had the spotlight for 5 seconds, and then Valkyrie's music hit, and that entrance that felt like a lightning storm hit the arena with the atmosphere and her presence, too. She took not only the spotlight, she took the damn match. And Nina really effed up when she slapped her, because that caused Valkyrie to just kick it in high gear and then kick her head off. And scissor kick her from the top rope. The end of the Nina Samuels show. Valkyrie stands triumphant and continues to impress me.
Well, let's see. James, if you thought Nina Samuels was going to win this match, say something. There you go. See, that's usually James didn't say anything. I don't know why he didn't turn his camera off, by the way. But
I mean, again, he'll be back. So now we're getting a look at his room. Nice Four Horsemen poster. But yeah, Valkyrie, very impressive. One of the new prospects. When I think about the new prospects, as they call them, of NXT UK, two stick out right now that are going to be future champions. Aya Valkyrie and Ridge Holland.
Piper Niven cuts this bland babyface promo on Kaylee Ray. I could have cared less about that. Yeah, it was just. I mean, I don't mind them feuding, but just Piper Niven she hasn't really done much for me in NXT UK.
She's not a strong promo either, sad to say, but I know her history with Kaylee Ray from ICW. Again, they had that Queen of Insanity match. I still watch that, more so for the commentary about the pink cheese grater. Go watch that match. You understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's clearly setting up a feud between Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven. If done right, I feel like this could be a really good championship match because Piper is doing this for two reasons. Her Prince Storm and stand up against a bully. Hence why her and Danny Luna are going to take on Kaylee Ray and her partner, which I find very unique in this situation, Ginny. Because clearly, Ginny and Kaylee Ray, they are not going to be on the same page. It's all going to be about that gold. Ginny says, I will not be disrespected again, if you remember her last promo. I could see this developing in Ginny trying to take on Kaylee Ray. There's a lot of different pieces going on here, but right now, yeah, Piper Niven's the weakest.
And you know how me and James feel about Ginny. We're not fans of Ginny, so.
You're not? She's like the best in NXT UK.
Maybe I don't know good. Maybe I don't know good talent then.
I mean, everyone has a different taste, but I mean, she is this prima donna fashionista per se. But I actually enjoy her promo work, and I think she's a great heel. And she definitely carries herself in the ring. Can't argue that.
Then we had A-Kid versus Noam Dar. This match was very good. They kept exchanging submissions. They were exchanging roll-ups for like 2 minutes in this match.
That ref's arm.
Eventually, I know. I always feel we never think about that type of stuff. With the ref's arm, yeah.
Yeah.
Noam Dar then eventually hit a low blow and the Nova Roller onto A-Kid. I was kind of questioning for a second why Noam Dar won this match, but they do something later on in the show afterwards.
Sorry, I'm just helping my brother out with some geometry. See if I can make some sense. Find the perimeter of circumference of each area. Like, you look at the perimeter, the circumference, pi square. The perimeter of this. Well, you don't have. Wait, this 60 and 60. That means two sides have to be the same because.
James, edit this out.
60, 60, 60. No, 60, 60. If all sides are 60 degrees, then all of them should be the same size because that would be a congruent triangle because it only goes 180 degrees. So I would think 4, 4, 4. I would think that's 12. I haven't taken geometry since 9th grade, though. And then was it just this one with the perimeter?
Yeah, then I don't know how to do that.
How many square feet of brick are needed to lay a patio in the shape shown? Square feet. So that's area. So if you take the area of this rectangle and the area of this, well, no, that's 2.5. So there's one side we're missing here. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do. You have to break it up into certain. But the thing is, the only side you know is this. Oh wait, no, that would actually work because if this is 8 and that's 5, and we need like a math filter. If this is 2.5 and then this is 8 inches, so you know how to find the area of this rectangle. Then it just comes down to finding the area of this rectangle, where this is. Well, this was a square. That's 5 though. How does that work? Yeah, I'm kind of thrown up at that too because you got 30, and then you have 30 feet. I only see the area of this rectangle, so the thing that's throwing me off is the area of this rectangle because I don't know how much 2.5. Yeah, the thing is, how many square feet of brick? Square feet, brick. The thing is that you find one area of the rectangle,
What is
but then you
going
have to
on?
scrap the area of the other rectangle. I'm not sure on that.
Noah.
Because
Noah.
2.5 times 8.
What
That
are
gives
you
you.
talking about?
But
Give him a minute, James.
here, I don't know if you can assume that's 5 by 30 because there's no way that 5 and 2.5 can add up together unless you have a negative area. That makes no sense.
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure. I gotta be honest. I'm not sure, man. I haven't taken geometry in forever. This is where I would use Khan Academy. I would just go to Khan Academy and put in something similar like this.
Khan Academy.
Yeah, Khan Academy is a great online resource for all math and stuff.
Oh my
You're trying
god!
to find an area of a certain perimeter, which right now, if you can figure out the perimeter of that, it probably would help you figure out the area because you're just basically adding the area of two rectangles to find the overall square feet needed to cover the area. I hope that helps you a little bit. Sorry, man,
I didn't know he was helping it.
I'm better at calculus and algebra, figuring out logarithms and third degree and second degree integrals. But I digress. Okay, sorry about that. I had to try and help my brother.
I didn't know what you were doing at first. I didn't know you were helping your brother, and I just said, "What the fuck do you want to?" I thought it was a joke.
No.
No,
It was a joke.
I'm sorry. My friggin' Albert Einstein math type thing was coming in where I was trying to help my brother with geometry. He's trying to find the square feet or how much square foot of coverage do you do in this weird L shape.
Keep it.
I know.
All right, keep this in mind. I'm just gonna screen share real quick. This is what I see on my screen. So your brother's probably cropped out. I had no idea what you were talking about. So I'm just like, what are you talking about? What did I walk into?
So Jay,
Because I'm hearing all this code, I'm thinking I'm walking into the Matrix. I don't know what happened.
so you might have to edit.
Geometry help. That's what it was.
fuck
I haven't
that. I'm
changed
leaving
geometry.
that in. That's hilarious.
The best way I could. Well,
Oh,
that
so you-
was I was a little confused too. Sorry if I messed with your brains.
No, dude, bro, I'm gonna leave that in. That was hysterical.
Alright,
That was fucking great.
James, you have to. We didn't finish UK, but we're gonna continue. We only have like one more match to review, really.
Oh
But
yeah,
no-
so it's the best match of the week then.
Yeah, because we already talked about A-Kid versus Noam Dar where he says, I'm just going to throw out 19 daft dudes. Boom, 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 bye.
that was kind of that was a bit cringy.
Noam Dar is a cringy heel.
But yeah,
And at
no,
least he knows it.
Noam Dar won with a low blow and then over roller. Afterwards, we had
Wasn't really a low blow. He hit him at the knee, as Nigel McGuinness put it. But anyway, yeah, Noble Roller for the win. Good match.
Was that the only one that noticed, by the way? It seemed like Nigel was like the most heel he's ever been since commentating on this show.
That's because
Like,
right now he's literally working with a face-type commentator and Andy Shepard versus a bland play-by-play Tom Phillips. Yes.
Whoa.
yeah, whoa.
Sorry.
We had a video package for Walter, hyping him up. Then we had the main event. No, I'm going to let you take over because you talk about the main event.
Look, these guys have been feuding with each other since day one on this brand. They're NXT UK originals, and most of their matches never happen because Jordan Devlin attacked the guy beforehand. Now he finally gets the hand on this guy where gold is on the line. And Travis Banks, he's been one of those that's like, he always
He doesn't
falls
make
short.
it to the ring and almost dies.
Yeah, that too. He
And
never
he'll
goes
lose
into
it.
the big one. But
Yep.
he really broke out during the Worlds Collide 4-way, where he came this close of winning, where he controlled most of the match. Here he kind of did the same thing. As you first noticed, Jordan Devlin comes with a vulnerable target on his shoulder or elbow. I think it was the left one. And you can see that Travis Banks, he knows that right away. He tries to go for it. There's a few kicks, but then Jordan Devlin, he really takes control after working the midsection of Travis Banks. And these two, again, like at one point you said, they are literally sharing move for move submission holds, pinfall for pinfall, great back and forth action. Things really picked up, though, for Travis Banks when he finally hit some freaking stiff kicks on Jordan Devlin. At one point, throw him out of the ring. But then there was a nasty suicide dive. That could have been disastrous for Travis Banks.
Yeah.
That could have been like Lita Trish Stratus disastrous right there. Okay?
I would say more La Park bad.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
don't want to go that far, James. But geez,
No, I'm not saying it to be an ass. I'm serious.
No,
Like
I
they
know you.
don't
I
do
know.
that.
I know. But
I
was
don't
also
know
standing
why
for
people do that. First Darby and now this guy. Stop it.
Well, he's lucky he didn't break his neck. But of
Yeah.
course, Jordan Devlin, he controlled the blunt of the match during that point. But to make a long story short, because again, I'll save more of this for 205 Live Matters, He basically, Jordan Devlin, he tries to pull up Gem inside, can't do it. And Travis Banks, he finally pulls off his slice of heaven. You think he's finally going to win the title? Rope break. That close. Closest near fall of the match. Travis Banks is like, what do I do? What do I do? You need to capitalize, man. That's what he tried to do. He tries to go for his other finisher, the Kiwi Crusher, but Jordan Devlin, he catches him in a roll-up, double-leg Nelson European clutch with help of the ropes and slides out with the victory. 1, 2, 3. What an insane match. But once again, Travis Banks, he falls short. He falls short.
I still very much enjoyed this match. Thank God Travis Banks actually got some shine and, isn't made to look like a guy who can barely make it to the ring. So it's very much. When
he actually can wrestle, he's a pretty darn good wrestler. So go ahead, James, take it away.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the best match of the week. I really, really, really enjoyed this Cruiserweight match. This is by far the best match. And I love how it ended. I loved everything in between. I love some of the callbacks. Good stuff all around. Definitely give this match a watch this week. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last show in front of a crowd for a while.
No.
If this was we got the Battle Royale this coming week, so that probably be the last one. Because clearly, that's going to set up the next phase of NXT UK, telling the story of the TakeOver matches. Because we're going to find out one of them a good match and the first NXT championship type match that wasn't their title per se, but the Cruiserweight title is basically property of NXT UK because it's around Jordan Devlin's waist.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I love the callbacks. Obviously I love the fact that the belt's now defended in the UK and the Cruiserweight division's really on fire now. Like, it's like one of the best divisions probably in
WWE period, honestly.
Yeah, James.
NXT's Cruiserweight division and NXT's Women's division are like the two best divisions in WWE, bar none. So.
Yep. No argument.
All right, James. Now it's finally time.
Fuck me. Where do I even begin?
I need a drink.
Yeah, you're gonna need one. So, here's the deal. I want to put this in perspective. Every show that we have mentioned, with the exception of NXT UK, because they still had a crowd because it was taped. Every show that had to deal with this pandemic, this thing, they tried. They actually tried. They actually, gave us professional wrestling, and they didn't give us this thing called reruns.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Bro, I have never seen so much lazy bullshit in my fucking life. And this is a multi-million-dollar company. This is a multi-billion-dollar company now, I'm sorry, that decides they're going to not try during this time. This is how it feels to me. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. This show, for me, is getting a full-on fucking F. I saw parts of this goddamn show. They didn't even try. They barely fucking tried. There was a few things. The athletes, I'm sure, that had the matches, they tried their ass off. But the fact that they went about this the way they fucking did was bullshit. And then the fact that they're still promoting Goldberg versus Roman, when we know that's not happening now, by the way. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. Usually if people promote that this isn't happening, it's usually not happening. And WWE only keeps promoting this to false advertise so it gets people to buy, because they knew most of the casuals were probably going to buy this match to buy WrestleMania. That's the only reason why they're doing this. So when the fans realize that they got fucking gypped, they're going to realize what we've been saying, that the company's fucking trash. And that they false advertise constantly. They don't give a shit. They only care about the paycheck. If this show was not indicative of the absolute lazy and by the numbers nature that you've ever seen, I don't know what the fuck does. This was tragic. It was tragic.
So, yeah, so this was a tape show, right? But
Yes.
so I understand that's why they promoted it, but I've seen like
Taped or
UK
not,
and
it's
NXT.
still trash. I don't care what anyone wants to tell me. This was a trash effort. There was no effort. That's what it felt like. There was no effort put into this.
No, that's not what I was getting to. But I've seen like NXT UK and NXT even on taped shows not promote like when Gargano and Ciampa, when Ciampa went out due to his injury last year, they didn't still promote while the shows were taped. They still didn't promote Gargano versus Ciampa for NXT Takeover last year. This is like that was ridiculous. Like they should have had like something like someone live say, "Hey, yeah, this was all at least say like this was taped before we knew Roman Reigns was going out." That's why they didn't do any of that. Like,
dude, this feels like, and this is dude, I don't care what anyone wants to tell me. This pandemic has exposed WWE for what they truly are, and I've been calling it since Hell in a Cell that all they've cared about is money.
Yeah,
honestly, that's all they've cared about. And everybody wants to tell me, okay, well, you got to give them a break. You got to give them a break. I've given people a break. I will give you, here's when I will give you a break. If you give me your best effort in this current climate, then I'll give you a break. Because at least you tried. NXT, by far not their best show in recent weeks, but at least it wasn't so bad that I can't say I didn't enjoy it. At least they fucking tried.
Well, 14 matches, and they still have it listed as Goldberg versus Roman Reigns in the WrestleMania preview. Interesting.
Which is bull, because it's not happening, and I guarantee you, if it does, I will be shocked, but I guarantee you it's not. I don't think it's the case.
It's going to be Goldberg versus Braun Strowman, all right? Let's just face it.
It's Goldberg, Braun, and that's going to be the end of it. And Braun's finally going to get his Universal title under the worst circumstances. That God knows why. The point is, if you cannot tell me WWE does not care about its fan base. The main roster, at the very least, does not care about its fan base after this BS effort.
Yeah, it was.
First off, they should have postponed WrestleMania, and not just for us. I don't care. Everybody wants to say like, and even freaking, I hear people like Solomos defending this, like, oh, they should, you know, I don't envy them in this situation. It's called postpone it till June. You had an open pay-per-view slot in June. You didn't have to do WrestleMania this month. You could have waited until fucking June and have it in Tampa Bay Stadium. You didn't have a pay-per-view. This easily could have been resolved by having it in June. Instead, you wanted to get your quick insurance money, and Vince, you wanted to get your quick insurance money and say, screw the rest of the guys that could barely make an effing paycheck this year, because you wanted to have WrestleMania go down, even if it was lackluster effort, just so you can get your goddamn paycheck, because that's all you care about. You care about yourself. You don't even care about your talent. And granted, Roman probably did leave because ultimately his health comes first and he doesn't want to compromise the immune system. But I guarantee you that's not the only reason. You cannot tell me that he wanted his dream match with Bill effing Goldberg to take place in front of no people. You can't tell me that. Especially considering the fact you could have waited a month to see how well or how bad or how better this pandemic could have gotten. Instead, you decide, fuck the fans. We're not going to postpone it. We're just going to coax on by like everything's normal when it's far from the fucking case.
Absolutely.
And now you're screwing over your fan base. You're screwing over your wrestlers, more importantly, that want to perform for the fans that they get paid to perform in front of. And now they're performing. Drew McIntyre, you really think he wants to win his Universal Championship in front of nobody? In front of fucking nobody? You think he was biding his time, jobbing his ass out for months on end until his Royal Rumble win to have his match take place in front of no fans? His ultimate WWE Championship win to take place in front of no fans? How about Edge? After retiring 9 years ago, you really think he wanted his first singles match to be in front of no fucking fans? Really?
Yeah,
That's
Baron.
why Roman did it. I don't care what you want to tell me. And you know what? I absolutely respect Roman Reigns because that means he really is a leader of the goddamn locker room. And that's ultimately why he wanted to go and use his. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's probably the main reason why he didn't want to perform at Mania this year. Because who the fuck would, realistically? I sure don't. I wouldn't. What's the point?
Yeah, it's a joke.
What's the fucking point? You could have postponed it until fucking June. It wasn't that difficult. It really wasn't that difficult. This is WrestleMania. This isn't like a normal fucking show. This is WrestleMania weekend. You have screwed over your entire... Dude, you screwed it. Like, it showed WWE didn't give a shit about its own employees. Never mind the entire industry. Because they fucked over their entire industry making this boneheaded decision. And that just shows you Vince didn't care to check his own schedule. Because if he did, he would have seen that he had a pay-per-view opening in June. So if anybody wants to tell me, oh, cut the main roster break, fuck that. I don't need to cut them shit for a break. Dude, everything that Vince has coming to him, if people decide to walk out on Mania because Roman walked out, he gets what he effing deserves. And you know what he deserves? The worst WrestleMania of all time. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. If you don't care, and I've said this before in the past, if you don't care about your fans, and if you don't care about the wrestlers, why the fuck should they? And why the fuck should we? That's it.
You feel better, James? You feel better, my friend? Did you get it all off your chest?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude,
okay!
Honestly, Noah, I get the whole giving them a break. But if you're not putting your best effort forward, do they really deserve a break, is my point. Do you think? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me that this week they were producing their best effort. There's no way.
Well, let's go over
the best effort, but 1% still more than zero, and I did enjoy Drew Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, I'm not saying there wasn't good stuff on here. I'm just saying it wasn't. Drew Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, is going to be a great match. Okay. But it's like, what effort? There was barely any.
Well, I mean, James, if you've been following the news, it's even worse than that because there have been reports of countless stars, even before the tapings, dropped out of WrestleMania. So many matches were changed on the fly, including some of the title ones, where people who had the titles were not even involved, yet the titles were still defended.
Yeah, no shit.
Let's talk about this SmackDown, though. Let's talk about...
Okay.
Great.
So, yeah, they talk about four things we need to know this stuff before we watch SmackDown, like we don't follow the product. Drew Gulak did an interview talking about how he's looking forward to, facing Shinsuke Nakamura and getting Daniel Bryan his Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania. Then, we want escapism, right? We want to escape our stuff from all the negativity in the world. And then here comes the Boston Hug Connection to do the lame-ass promo.
Owen triggered.
Yeah, the boss...
It's not wrong.
They talk about,
at least Tamina actually finally did something.
By the way, I want to point this out. They actually mentioned that this was going on, that the pandemic was going on. You know what AEW Dynamite? You know what NXT? You know what all these other shows didn't do? Oh yeah, mention that the pandemic was going on.
James, I can't.
Hold on, repeat yourself because you cut out, Noah.
James, I'm worried about your blood pressure right now, and I really feel like you need to change.
I know how much I can and cannot take right now. Trust me. If I'm worried, I'll let you know. All
right,
boss.
This again. Dynamite I enjoyed because there wasn't mention of any of this shit going on the minute SmackDown's on the air. This is a very unique situation. Don't fucking mention it.
But yeah, the boss and Hug Connection, we know the match is a fatal 5-way match because Dana Brooke is out of the match because she's in quarantine. And the boss and Hug Connection do a promo. They say it's not fair that Bayley has to defend the SmackDown Women's title. They blame Paige because she made the match. And then Bayley talks about how Paige's plan to break us apart's not going to work. I think Bayley said something like, "I'm going to retain my title," but then Sasha Banks gets this look on her face, but before she can say anything, she gets cut off by Lacey Evans. They remind us of that feud. Sasha Banks talks about how I'm going to destroy you and your daughter is going to look at you like a loser and all this type of stuff. Lacey Evans says that if you mention my daughter's name again, I'm gonna break your jaw so you can never say her name again. So I guess she can't.
And this feud fucking die in a fire.
Oh, it's not even the worst of it. So then Naomi interrupts. Naomi's
playing record player with the mood that's going on right now because Vince is just making James life a living hell.
Naomi says that that her and Lacey Evans will work together to make sure the boss and her connection at least Bayley loses the SmackDown Women's belt. And then Bayley gets mad, says that no one else is going to interrupt me. Not like even 2 seconds later, she gets interrupted. That just shows you that this was a scripted promo. And then Tamina interrupts, says actions speak louder than the words. She takes out
I haven't heard that cliche before.
She takes out the baby faces. The boss and her connection start stomping away at the baby faces, and then they do the whole spot where they bump into Tamina, who's this big power heavy woman, and they leave. They sucked.
Thumbs down. Fuck this segment.
James, Noah, what did you think of this segment?
Well, at least Tamina actually did some offense for the first time and I don't know when. But beyond that, this match, I really do not care about this match. I really wish we could rekindle the fire capture between Sasha versus Bayley back in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. But despite
it's just taking over.
I know. I'm just giving my standpoint of what this could be, what it should be, and what I wish it wasn't. But it is what it is, and meh, Bayley's retaining.
Then we had probably the best thing in the either that or Firefly Funhouse was the best thing in the whole show. It was Drew Gulak with Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura with Cesaro and if Drew Gulak won, Bryan would get his title match against Sami Zayn for the belt at WrestleMania. Good stuff. Really enjoyed this. Drew Gulak is about to get hit with the King Sasha, but Daniel Bryan moves him out of the way, and Gulak rolls him up and gets the win. I really like this because Sami Zayn was complaining about this, how this was illegal, but Cesaro did it earlier to save Nakamura, so I kind of like it, because it just shows what a heel he is. I'm really enjoying the Gulak and Bryan pair up, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's gonna be a banger.
For the first time in a long time, I actually do care about what's going on with the Intercontinental Championship. Thank you, Sami Zayn, Drew Gulak, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. James, what do you think?
It just took Braun Strowman losing the fucking belt.
What do you think of this?
It in the first place.
What do you think of this match, though, James, between Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura?
Thumbs up. This was honestly, I think this was the best part of the show, to be honest. I liked Firefly Funhouse, but this was just something I liked more.
Well, considering I like wrestling more than just cinematography, I kind of have to agree with you. Plus, it is Drew Gulak finally being utilized the way I wished he was in the beginning of SmackDown. And this tandem of Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, I could watch this forever. Those two should be the tag team champions.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, by the way, they continue that on WWE.com exclusive. We see that they're doing squats as Caleb Braxton's trying to interview them, and they talk about how training never stops. Daniel Bryan wants to go celebrate with vegan sausages, but Drew Gulak says, "No, training never stops. We gotta keep training. We gotta get you ready for WrestleMania." They do the duck squats, and I just love these two as a team. And thank you, Daniel Bryan, because he has backstage power, obviously you can tell, and he's using it for like good, not like to get himself in the world championship matches. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
you know what I don't care what anybody said. What the Miz failed to do for the B team.
There you go.
There's my little jab.
We'll
I
just talk
coming.
about we'll just talk about these next few segments all at once. Dolph Ziggler's backstage on FaceTime. I think it's implied he's talking to Mandy Rose. And Otis wants to get his hands on Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler says you can have the match at WrestleMania, which is why it sucks they're doing this match because no one's going to be there. So if Otis,
Literally, this is the one that the crowd is going to have the most investment for because Ziggler's been over, and I don't even know how long as a heel, and now Otis is over as like the sympathetic babyface, and of course, it's going to take place in front of, you guessed it, no fans.
and later on in the show, Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville are seen talking, so it's implied. I don't think it's confirmed, but it's implied that
Oh, look, it's Palpatine.
it's implied that that they were planning something. So Mandy Rose gets upset because she says, "I don't want to be the reason. I don't want to be just a prize fighting over." Really weird that she would say that when this feud's been going on for 3 months, and that's basically the gist of the feud. And Ziggler's like, "You're right, I went too far, but I'm going to kick his ass to WrestleMania, and you're going to be in my corner." Yeah, I feel like
I've lost all interest.
yeah, now that there's gonna be no fans, I kind of lost it.
It's soap opera waiting for the big conclusion that Sonya Deville was behind it all along. Then she kisses Mandy Rose on the lips. We have HLA, Vince's wet dream, and we never look back on this again. Dolph and Otis remain irrelevant.
Well, the problem is, I want them to do something different. You're probably right, though. This is probably what they were leading up to, and everybody will hate it afterwards. But if Otis gets the hot blonde at Mania, what the fuck?
Look, this is not
like that should have been at Mania. Is my point.
Yeah, this is not some love story I'm going to get involved with or invested just because some people actually do feel sympathetic about Otis, even though this clearly was staged from the get-go, okay? I don't care.
But you know what? You know why people like it? Because people can relate because it's happened to them, and it was actually, like, not like every other fucking love story. It was, honestly, let's be real, it was leaps and bounds better than Lashley, Lana, and Rusev.
I will not argue that.
So,
but I've seen this type of love story play out on TV all the time, and if people actually love this in real life, boo-hoo for you. I haven't.
I mean, either way, the storyline, it's either going to end great with no crowd, or it's going to end shit with no crowd. But either way, it was not going to get a good reaction. So, again, don't care, lost interest now. So,
moving on, give me something of actual interest.
I don't think I can. Elias performs. He's on the.
Let me just.
He's on that platform.
And he's hiding in his hole. James is like an ostrich trying to put their head in the ground, except he's just putting his head inside his hoodie.
He's on the platform performing. He's talking trash about Ken Corbin, and then Ken Corbin attacks him as he's talking about certain things, like pictures of Corbin like on toilet paper and stuff pop up on the screen. It was pretty bad.
It's toilet humor. It literally is toilet humor. That's all this song was. This is one of his worst songs to date.
This if it's toilet humor, then this segment was clearly thought of by Vince because he loves toilet humor.
The flush away.
Ken Corbin attacks Elias. He hits him with the scepter, and then he tries to knock him off the platform like Tommaso Ciampa did to Johnny Gargano. Eventually, he hits him off the head with the scepter. But the way he fell looked really bad because he fell like on the camera, and you could totally tell that this was edited. Like it was just really bad. And now it's in question if Elias is going to be able to compete at WrestleMania. So,
hold on. I'm going to really throw you off for a loop here. How do you feel about this idea of bringing the audience in? WWE is seriously thinking about putting fans live on face cams.
No.
As a border around the actual show.
No.
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 I just figured I'd bring up something a little different, but yeah, all of it.
No, dude, I don't care.
Then
Till June, or postpone it till June, or have a shit WrestleMania. Those are your two fucking options.
but no, what do you think of this Elias performance?
One of his weakest to date. I do not care about this match or this feud. And Elias is better as a heel than a face.
Absolutely. I know what James thinks about it, so I don't even need to ask him. With
No,
the way he,
James has left the building.
I don't care.
Moving on.
we had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross on commentary.
My feet are more exciting than that fucking program.
What, the King Corbin?
And let's just wrap this up because I feel like James, he's gone. The only thing worthwhile about this match was Nikki Cross on commentary because it finally allowed us to hear something more entertaining than plain old boring, paler than milk Michael Cole on solo commentary. The fact that Alexa Bliss beat Asuka, though, cleanly with a DDT, it saddens me.
Yeah,
but clearly we're going to get that women's tag title match, clearly.
I don't care about that at all, so.
I don't care.
Hey, James, play Phil Collins Don't Care Anymore. Show us how much you really don't care. Oh, wait, we'll get copyright. Never mind.
So,
yeah, I don't want to do that.
The Usos were backstage cutting a promo on Kofi Kingston and Big E. Because, WWE thinks the world will explode if we don't get that match once a year. So, how many times do you think we've seen that match? Like 5 million times? I'm over that match.
What match? What match?
Usos versus New Day. I'm sick of it.
Let me sum it up like this: Control C, Control V. Oh!
Absolutely. And then they showed the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match from WrestleMania 32 between Triple H and Roman Reigns.
Of all the matches to pick,
yeah,
why did you pick that one where it was probably the loudest boos in Roman Reigns' career?
Apparently, Triple H did a promo afterwards saying that who he thinks could win the match between Roman Reigns and Goldberg. That's not even happening now. So, what are we doing?
Guys, remember, this was recorded before they recorded WrestleMania.
True. Kofi Kingston.
A little bit. I will give them a pass on. At the end of the day, they should have put out a fucking statement, which I know they won't, just so they can sell their payday.
Kofi Kingston and Big E are backstage talking about the number one contenders match. Big E was awesome. He's very entertaining as always.
No one cares.
Hey, I care about Big E. Show some respect to the man with the giant sausage.
I hate this show, honestly. I like Big E, but fuck, I wish he was back on NXT.
What was he doing with the giant sausage? I never learned the answer to that last year in February.
I don't know. Then we had Firefly Funhouse episode. This episode was awesome. Bray Wyatt sinisterly looking at the John Cena pick when he beat him at WrestleMania 30. Then Bray Wyatt talks about how he's going to defeat John Cena and vindicate that win, or that loss anyways. And Abby the Witch says that he doesn't stand a chance of defeating John Cena because you said that all before. Ramblin' Rabbit talks about, how he's going to give away all his secrets. And then Bray Wyatt makes a smoothie and he has all these different ingredients that he's putting in there. Anger and hate, hot sauce for flavor. And he puts Ramblin' Rabbit in the smoothie and he cooks Ramblin' Rabbit. How this dude's died so many times. Like, then
it's a running gag. It's a running gag.
Then afterwards, he says that he challenges John Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match, and John Cena is going to answer the challenge next week, and he'll probably accept though. That could be interesting, but if it's anything like the House of Horrors match, no, thank you.
Owen, let me say this before James intervenes. If Vince is not involved in this creative-wise, this could be really good because we have Undertaker, Triple H, and Hollywood writers helping Bray Wyatt in the first place with Firefly Funhouse. No Vince involvement whatsoever. So if the same thing could happen here, we will avoid House of Horrors too. If it doesn't, then we're screwed.
Yeah, but I thought this Firefly Funhouse segment was awesome. And I feel like we have to have a moment of silence for Ramblin' Rabbit again because he's died like 20 times.
And he'll be back next week. He'll be like, John Cena! Yo, John Cena! I'm a huge fan! Look out, the Fiend's right behind you! John Cena! And then the rabbit will get squashed by the mound and John Cena will get out of the way. It's going to be interesting seeing John Cena meet all the characters of the Firefly Funhouse because you know he's going to accept this.
Yeah.
I'm convinced Rambling Rabbit's Kevin Dunn, just saying.
You know what? That actually would make a lot of sense.
Do you want to explain?
He's got buck teeth like a fucking rabbit.
The Usos wrestled Kofi Kingston and Big E in a SmackDown Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match with John Morrison and The Miz on commentary. The New Day was throwing pancakes to nobody in the crowd. Stop that.
You just hurt James.
It hurt me.
Are you
And yep.
They just threw fucking pancakes in an arena with no people.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch this show in full.
That's the sound of a man's brain dying, I think.
Bro, I lost like 3 brain cells hearing that.
Guess what, though? You're going to lose some more. The match ended in a no contest. And it's just a triple threat ladder match for the titles at WrestleMania.
Fuck it.
I hated this
match.
match.
Worry about James' health, not worry about James' brain.
I hated this match so much because it's the same match I've seen 3 million times with the finish I didn't care for at all. And get out of my life. This show was like this show's a C-. This show's like a C- 70 out of 100 for Gulak Nakamura and the Firefly Funhouse segment alone. Get this show out of my life. No, would you? Oh wait, you're not doing.
Richard, get fucking sacked.
I was no, you can't do letter grades because you're not doing those. So.
Well, I mean, again, here's the thing. No matter how bad stuff is, some people would say something is better than nothing. But yeah, this show was just a big, giant flop. I mean, I think that sums up my explanation right there.
Can I
James,
get
over here.
Am I able to get back on my chair now?
Yeah, we're doing 205 now.
Yay! Okay, hold on. Okay.
All right, Noah, you want to do 205, Noah, since you're the 205 live guy here?
Yeah, sure, why not? So 205 Live emanated once again from the Performance Center with commentary by John Quatso and in English. And it was once again another 2-match showcase where basically we keep showcasing more of the NXT cruiserweights, basically taking over the division and leading the show, in my opinion. And also we have Tony Nese and Oney Lorcan. So first match was a first-time ever bout between Isaiah Swerve Scott and Joaquin Wilde. Isaiah Swerve Scott, of course, coming off the tremendous win as part of Team NXT in that 10-man Captain's Choice elimination tag match, being one of the sole survivors along with Kushida. Isaiah Swerve Scott, he's got incredible momentum being part of the brand for such a long period of time, too. Joaquin Wilde, trying to find his place, got the best of Raul Mendoza in a best-of-3 series of matches he had with Raul Mendoza, bringing the EDM to 205 Live. These two were very even for most of the match, jockeying for position, very back and forth action. Isaiah Swerve Scott controlling momentum with a lot of escape counters. The match really picked up after what was it? Joaquin Wilde, he got caught in the apron and then got kicked in the face to the point the apron ring skirt literally fell off of Joaquin Wilde. And then there was like an interesting gory bomb setup, and then he kind of put him into the side of his neck, grabbed his arms, and had him trapped in a submissions hold. But, excuse me, Joaquin Wilde, he escaped out of that. And eventually he pulled off some high-risk offense off the top rope and the ring post, jumping at Isaiah Swerve Scott into a Rana. The both men, they find themselves in the ring. A wheelbarrow counter, though, drives Isaiah Swerve Scott, I think, ribs first or back first, lower back first to the table. Springboard DDT, though, nice little follow-up. And then both men were just exchanging blows with each other. There was a jawbreaker. But I really like the sequence here where the suplex was turned into a roll through Poison Rana, but somehow on an instinct, Isaiah Swerve Scott gets a house call in there, and usually he wins with that. But I like how they're using the house call more like a signature move and not a finisher. As Walking Wild, he kicks out of it, near fall. And then following this, he goes for the double stomp attempt and does not stick it. Roll through though, and then basically a pop-up Misonoku after the attempted inside out in the corner of Walking Wilder. I guess Isaiah Swerve calls that a Rubik's Cube, and that gave Swerve the win here in a very competitive opener as Swerve continues to build momentum for himself. And Walking Wilder, he's shown that he can hang with the best, but he's still finding himself in the division. I thought it was a good opener. James, your thoughts?
This was definitely a good opener. I really enjoyed it.
Owen?
Yeah, same. I think Isaiah Swerve Scott's getting the next title match against Jordan Devlin.
I think he should. I think Isaiah's been proving himself a lot in all the matches he's been in. So yeah, I say he should be the next in line.
Well, the funny thing is, remember at Worlds Collide, he and Jordan Devlin, they did share that subtle face-to-face, even though it wasn't like really face-to-face. But again, Swerve Scott, his moment was taken by Jordan Devlin. These two are bound to meet each other, and I agree. I think at this point, because he's already represented the brand, he won for the brand, he keeps winning on 205 Live. If they do something, it's going to be Kushida versus Swerve Scott, I feel like, because they won that Captain's Choice match. I think Swerve's going to go over here and challenge the Irish Ace next for the title. I would not mind seeing that, and I would hope to see that on NXT with a crowd. But anyway, following that, they gave a brief look at the finisher of the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match at NXT UK that we just discussed, where again, double leg Nelson European clutch with the ropes assistance allowed Jordan Devlin to escape, literally escape with the victory. Still the champion. And then we go into our main event. Tony Nese and Oney Lorcan, basically renewing the bitterness that these two have for each other from that Captain Choice Challenge match, where Tony Nese was the first eliminated for his team, captain I might add, and he was eliminated by Oney Lorcan. And Oney Lorcan, of course, coming off last week, big victory against Criminy. Who did he face? Because the 1-2 connection both won last week, which I found
No.
Oh no, he didn't win.
He didn't win.
From Scott. Sorry.
Yeah, he
was
lost.
a week they both won. Anyway, well, that's what happens when you watch too much wrestling. You get sidetracked sometimes. But yeah, these two, it was interesting because it showed only Lorcan, he's not just a fury frenzy of adrenaline, but he's also very technical here, as the first portion of the match was very mat-based. Both men sharing submissions, arm drags, Oney Lorcan controlling Tony Nese's arm, and even extending some joint manipulation. Shout out to the Bruiserweight. But then things really picked up here when both men basically welled into each other, and the leading damager in this match was definitely Oney Lorcan's open palm chops to Tony Nese. I will say this, when empty arena, you really can hear the impact of those shots. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sunset flip out of attempted submission hold for Tony Nese with a wicked spin kick afterwards, took friggin' Lorcan's jaw off. And then for a period of time, there was a waist scissors lock where, again, he slowed the momentum. Tony Nese in control. Oney Lorcan, he fought out of it with more wicked chops to the chest. I would never want to know what one of those feels like. And then following this, he unleashed his fury with running uppercuts, uppercut in the corner, and the run-through blockbuster. But he didn't necessarily go for a fall here. He tried to go for more offense, only to get caught with a throat shot, and then hung up over the top rope. Springboard moonsault. Tony Nese is one of his staples. Gives him a near fall, not enough. He then tries to set up for the running knees, but Oney Lorcan countered that and goes for his half and half. Tony Nese, he gets out of that, lands on his feet, and pulls off a double stomp. Great ingenuity. Finally suplexes Oney Lorcan to the corner, and a running knees, exposed knee strike. 1, 2, 3. Tony Nese, he wins, and he says, "You got lucky, you'll never eliminate me again." Because truth be told, Tony Nese, he was eliminated from subtle indifference on his team, as he was put over on commentary. Owen, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the right guy won. I think Tony Nese, he's had a lot of big losses lately, so I think he needed to win more. I think they're setting up a program with him and Jack Gallagher, since or something with Gallagher, whether it's him versus Nese or Gallagher versus Mike Kanellis, since Gallagher was kind of the reason the 205 Live Originals lost to begin with, because he couldn't get along with everybody. But I really enjoyed this, and I think one flaw I've had about 205 Live as of late is it needs to go back to being an hour because I feel like the main event match usually kind of feels rushed towards the end. I still enjoyed it, but I feel like if this match had more time, it would have, it would have been a bit of a better match. But other than
I
that,
agree.
what do you think,
I
James?
agree, because now 205 Live, it literally finishes under 30 minutes. Don't even hit that anymore. Very sad to say. James, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, it feels rushed. I wish they didn't rush it. They need to. I think they need to just go back to an hour, even though there's no crowd there right now. I think the main event suffered a little bit because of it. It was still good, but I just wish I could have seen more from it. I was actually really getting into the match before it felt like it was just kind of ended abruptly. So
Yeah. I mean, again, they really slowed down the beginning. Then they just went from 5 to 10, just like that. Next thing you know, it was over after counter for counter on the finishers. One person got the finisher pulled off, and that was it. And that literally was this. That was it, folks. That's all, folks. That was literally it for 205 Live this week. So, again, as you all know, I do not grade. Even my brand hashtag 205 Live matters. I do not grade. I respect everybody who puts in an effort, keyword effort, during this time to bring us quality wrestling and or sports entertainment, however you interpret it. And 205 Live did that for me once again with this subtle, simple two-match showcase.
Yep.
Owen, your final thoughts and grade on this show.
Yeah, it was a solid episode. Even though there's only like 2 matches, I have a nice little time watching these matches, and 205 Live is just good if you want to just sit down and watch some nice wrestling. I'll give it like a B-, 84 out of 100. Like I said, my only critique is that it's too short now. I feel like they need to go back to an hour.
how sad is it that the show that's after SmackDown is doing better, has better effort put into it than SmackDown.
And there's only 2
It's still
matches.
division, though, James, to be fair. And again, they work harder, it seems. John Cena even sports 205 Live, which really made me happy. And even he admires that because he never could watch, but he was able to watch last week as a fan. And I think that's really awesome how he supports and watches 205 Live. As many of the Cruiserweights thanked him, former and current, I might add, on Twitter.
Yeah, well, as see, the thing is, Cena's always respected cruiserweight wrestling. He was there when they had the first incarnation of the cruiserweight division back in 2002. So he knows how important it is. So
All right, so before we wrap up this show, let's just break down some news things that are going on. I always save these for the end of the show. So there's talk starting with the WWE news. There's talk Undertaker. I don't think he's getting a new character, but his character's going to be altered a little bit. That seems like they're going to mesh the Dead Man gimmick with the American Badass gimmick because of the feud going on with AJ Styles.
They only get it because he's bald. There it is. There's your news breaking news. Vince hates that Undertaker's going bald, so they combine the 2 gimmicks together so we can wear his bandana again. That's why. There's your breaking news. Done. I'm serious. That's why. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing. It's all... Maybe, just a thought, maybe if you let the fucking man retire at WrestleMania 33, this wouldn't be a fucking problem.
Well, he did sign a lifetime contract, so now he's responsible for his own problems.
And then we found out what a Boneyard match might be. It's looking like it's just a Buried Alive match. It's going to happen like at an undisclosed location, at a cemetery, but obviously they can't say Buried Alive match because,
PG?
Yeah. We found out the WWE Network is going to be free during this pandemic. Kind of makes sense with a lot of people cooped up in the house. It's a way for WWE to advertise themselves. Some people are implying, though, that this is a way that WWE can get their email addresses and hook fans in to stay on the network, but I could see people cancel it once this free thing goes away. Because that's typically what...
Because they always do.
Tony Khan reacted to Raw this week, so one thing you heard about this. You guys heard about this, right?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I have not.
I don't remember exactly what his tweet was, but obviously Raw moved the hard cam this week, and I think
I don't. AEW did. Yep.
And I believe. No, do you remember exactly what Tony Khan said about Raw moving the hard cam and stuff? Because he said something.
I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what it was.
And he had a GIF.
Yeah, he had a GIF. That was funny. Leo Rush.
so good for the wrestling business. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Leo Rush is being a nice sport. What he's doing is he's gonna have an Instagram live. I think like the week of WrestleMania, so next week, putting on various guests from the independents since they lost their independent show. So good on Leo Rush. I'm really happy for you. It's just nice to see when people do good things. So
Yeah.
This is actually hilarious. I only got this news from What Culture, but I figured we'd talk about it. So apparently there's this British politician that's trashing wrestling. What's going on here is, obviously you guys remember the Stone Cold Steve Austin Booker T grocery store brawl. She was trying. Yep. She was sitting there saying, "Okay, this is totally fake. There's no way they'd be able to have this brawl. Why are they letting people film it and all this type of stuff?" And everyone's just having a grand old time with it. It's actually not really. This was like a big famous British politician, but now the British have turned on her because you don't trash wrestling in England.
In the UK, period. The last place in the world. You talk about America being strong wrestling. The mecca of wrestling fans is the freaking UK. You are an idiot.
And the best part is,
well, here's what I said about all politicians, Noah. They're all idiots.
Then Tony Schiavone.
The more you know.
That is true.
Tony Schiavone responded to one of the tweets saying, "Get off Twitter," pretty much, which was great.
That was nice and subtle. Not really abusive, but more concrete fact.
So I thought that was... we have an update on Samoa Joe. He's free to come back. I don't think they're putting him back right now, obviously, with this pandemic going on. I feel like they would have saved him until after WrestleMania anyways. But I think Samoa Joe shouldn't come back for a while because it seems like when he comes back, he either gets suspended or injured right afterwards. So I think Samoa Joe could use this time to take off. So there's that. What do you think about that news story, about Samoa Joe? Do you think he should come back right when he's ready, or do you think he should use this pandemic to sit at home?
I mean, because of the situation we're in, it's best right now to just stay at home and wait till it all subsides. He really has no reason right now to be involved in anything because the biggest thing he was involved with is the feud with the Monday Night Messiah and his disciples, which is now being led literally by just Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. The last great thing that Samoa Joe did of value for us was commentary, and that's pretty much now been set in place with Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton with Jerry the King Lawler. So yeah. Stay at home and just rest so something develops.
I hate to say it, and I love Samoa Joe. I've always have, but I think his days in the ring are just over. I think he needs to retire and get on the booth because they aren't going to give him the championship. They should have back in 2017, but if they didn't give it to him then, they're not going to give it to him. So
he didn't beat Brock, he didn't beat AJ, and the farthest he came as United States champion, and his biggest moment was at WrestleMania, lasted 2 minutes.
Yes. And then I have the next one I have written down. I'll save for last for the WWE news, but there's an update on the Broken Skull sessions. They're going to be more uncensored now, so there's going to be more swearing. They're going to talk about things that they typically would never talk about, which is kind of how it was anyways. I actually, if you guys haven't seen those, you should really watch the Broken Skull sessions.
They're really good. They're really
good. I've seen them. I've seen a couple of them. My favorite one so far is the one with Big Show.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I gotta.
I gotta watch the one with Brett just because I heard he shits on Goldberg and I really want to hear it.
But then we have the biggest news story out of the WWE news. It's more MLW, but he's a former WWE superstar. Teddy Hart got arrested. I have a
shocker.
He's gonna serve 5 years in jail. I believe I don't know exactly what he got arrested for, but these are his charges. For slaughter, they said for strangling. I believe there's a term for it, but there's reports that he possibly strangled Man-Eater from ROH. I don't remember her real wrestler name off the top of my head.
Maria Manic. Wait, what? He strangled Maria Manic? Whoa!
She's not dead. She is not dead. There's apparently like he was driving around in his car without like lights for like a year. But basically, he's serving 5 years in jail. So,
jeez.
Yeah, Teddy Hart's he's had a fall from grace.
Well, let me take him off my AEW Impact merger roster real quick.
Yep, because he's not going to be there for 5 years.
Teddy Hart replaced with Joe Schmo. All right, done.
All right, but James, what do you think about this situation about him? I heard too, he's just an asshole in real life too. By the way, Teddy Hart.
Yeah, that's why I said shocker. I'm not. Am I shocked? No. Teddy Hart's a fucking idiot. Always has been an idiot. I thought he cleaned himself up, considering he was an MLW, but it seems like there's a curse in MLW where they just get the unwanted scraps. I mean,
Yeah.
Case in point, Austin Aries, ACH, Teddy Hart, kind of a pattern there. So,
What about you? No.
I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked that this is kind of the deal with him. It's the same thing with Jeff Hardy. I said this with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy had multiple chances. He should have retired. I think it's the same with Teddy Hart. Multiple chances, should have been forced into retirement. That's my thoughts on that.
What are your thoughts, Noah?
Crazy situation. I don't understand why people do what they do, and I feel horrible right now. I hope Maria Mac's okay, but hopefully 5 years, maybe Teddy Hart can finally, renew himself. But yeah, I mean, if he or Jeff Hardy or others literally relapse into what they're doing, I got no pity for them.
Then more news. It's more about this situation. We found out what's going to happen with future Dynamite shows. They've taped a bunch of shows. I don't know how many, but they've taped a lot of shows. Same thing going on with WWE. They've taped all of the shows. WrestleMania's taped. They had to get a deadline in by 11 p.m. on Thursday, and they did get it. So that's good. Because Orlando literally shut down last week.
I think Jacksonville's still open, so I don't know if they're taping.
But WWE also, they're planning on making the next SmackDown Live after WrestleMania, a live show, and then they're going to tape the next one. And Impact has canceled some shows. They canceled Rebellion, Lockdown, and I think they're like the TNA Old School show. I don't think they're canceled. Are they postponed or canceled, Noah? Because I haven't been.
I think they're postponing them.
They're postponing.
And then, Becky Lynch did an interview, like, talking about, like, what's been going on, like, behind the scenes with the empty arena stuff. It's probably stuff that's already well documented. Obviously, we talked about Dana Brooke being quarantined. Rey Mysterio is now quarantined. And that kind of affected
the Miz is, too. Apparently, the Miz just went under quarantine this week after taping, so.
Allegedly, he's been sick for weeks, actually.
So that
shows the selfish nature of the fucking Miz that he always has fucking had.
So yeah, Rey Mysterio though, Rey Mysterio's really affects WrestleMania because they were supposed to do him versus Andrade for the U.S. belt, but because he went into quarantine, that's why we're getting the Raw Tag Title match. Which I'll admit, this was reported Monday, but when we did the rundown Monday, I didn't know that happened, so that's why I was getting mad that they didn't do that four-way match. They still should have done at least a triple threat match with, Andrade, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo instead of this random Raw Tag Title match they're doing. I heard too, Andrade isn't even going to be in WrestleMania now because he has an injury. So
he got an injury from Raw after that. I guess he got, like, his wrist was injured, and then I guess one of the guys on the other team was legitimately knocked out from that botched spinning elbow strike, which some was called looked like a Judas effect, except it hit him square in the jaw.
And then the only news, James, I don't know if you can, because I don't really know enough about this, but apparently Vince McMahon has secured WWE cash injection after everything that's been going on. Do you know anything about? That's what it says. Vince McMahon has secured WWE cash injunction, but I don't really remember.
Wait, you say
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so this is the reason. This is the reason it's still even going ahead instead of being postponed till June, so we can get his fucking goddamn check for putting on WrestleMania in Orlando, or in Florida in general. Even though he would have gotten a bigger paycheck if he just postponed it. But, what the fuck do I know, I guess.
Well, you're not like, an entrepreneur, billionaire, / business broker. So apparently all he sees is dollar signs. I'm a
All he
genius.
gives a shit about. Even though he would have gotten more money if he just postponed.
And he
But
wanted the
no,
money
and
now.
Vince would rather play God than fucking postpone WrestleMania.
But yeah, so that was a fun rundown. You got James almost died like twice. You got a nice geometry lesson. You got
Sorry.
well, actually I don't think you really got a geometry lesson, but you got.
Well, I was talking about the perimeter of trying to find the square foot of an L-shaped figure. And if you turn it into a square, but then you got to try and figure out the side of each side. And one side doesn't add up to the other side, but both should. I mean, it's a bit confusing, but I'm sure that people understand geometry when it comes to perimeter, circumferences, and square foot area.
So yeah, you got a fun episode of the
I
Western
don't.
rundown.
What?
I don't.
Oh, well, to be fair, I'm better at calculus and algebra than geometry, but that's just me.
And I'm not.
But yeah, that's the Western rundown for this episode. One more episode, and then we're just gonna record one more, and then we'll be at 200, and we'll all be happy, celebrating the fact that we're at 200, and then we gotta get to 300, then we gotta get to 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. We gotta get to 1,000, and then after 1,000, I think the world would just blow up because I don't know. It just
It already almost has.
Blow up.
But yeah, let's just do everyone's plugs and promotion, and this is where the part where James edits that like little plug things in there.
I
So
haven't actually done that the last few episodes, but I will if you want me to.
it's up to you. You ready
Alright.
in the show?
All right,
I mean-
cue the plug animation.
Ta-da!
See, James edits the show. He can make you and me, Noah, look like complete fools, and him look superior because he edits the show.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably do like some sort of filter with me or like some casual classical music when I was giving David that math lecture. I'm sure he'll have fun with that.
No, now that you give me the idea, I mean,
Nope, no music. Do not waste. You
I
can't.
can do it if
There's
it's not copyright.
there's royalty-free music on YouTube. I do it all the time. You
Yes.
just gotta make sure you acknowledge it in the description.
Although since I haven't rented on WMG, I'll make this very quick. 10 seconds of a fucking song shouldn't be copyrighted.
All right, let's. Noah, why don't you plug your stuff? You haven't done that in a while, so.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep it simple. This has been fun, guys. Let's do it again sometime. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know more about me beyond geometry? Know this. I'm just simple, man. And I broke James like usual. And a lifelong fan of wrestling. And not just sports entertainment. So if you want to talk to me about
Are
anything
you a fan of
wrestling.
geometry too?
What?
Are you a fan of geometry too?
Maybe. It's my lowest math grade with a B+, but I think I'm more calculus and algebra because I'm an engineer. But I digress.
envy you for getting a B+ in fucking geometry. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how I survived this long. I've done more math than most people will ever even hear. Anyway, I'm not about just math, though. I'm also a lifelong fan of wrestling. So follow me on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah, or on Instagram @nfoster1916. It's also the same thing on Twitter. I'll give you a nice hello, moments in wrestling, a morning vibe to get you started. A nice little song and other stuff, too. Maybe some fun humor with filters or whatever. Also, follow my civil YouTube channel. It's all things wrestling. It's youtube.com/user/Noah210. At the heart of it, my 2 series, #205 Live Matters, that discusses 205 Live and the Cruiserweights. Every now and again, I try and be consistent, but now it's been like more of a bi-weekly thing. It just, all comes in play on schedules with me and the holiday because we're the simple holiday. But also my true brand new weekly series, AEW Spark, that reviews and discusses AEW Dynamite last week, AEW Dynamite this week, AEW Dark, and all things All Elite Wrestling with you, the fans of All Elite Wrestling. I invite anybody to join me. All you need is Skype. Next, this coming Tuesday will be a member from Pro Wrestling Discussions, Scott Carter. He will be with me to discuss literally the Dynamite we just talked about, as well as this upcoming Dark and this upcoming Dynamite. So stay tuned for that. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I always record that. As always, support NoDQ. They're the reason I got into YouTube for every dad's NoDQ family. Buy a shirt, tapestry, pillow, mug, just do it. NoDQ.com/merch to the store. Follow NoDQ.com on social media platforms. Your opinions matter. Comments on everything. Polls, columns, memes, gifs, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. They're 20 years old, folks. You name it, it's there. Primarily WWE, a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling news as well. Stay tuned as It is WrestleMania week, bullshit or not. So we are back with the No DQ Predictions League. And of course, I'll be taking part in it. I'll be scoring it. And I will be sending out a form to you, the No DQ Galaxy, so you can participate too. I also will be doing my first ever No DQ Galaxy Spotlight, where me and Rick the Rock, leader of the People's WWE channel, will be doing predictions right here on YouTube on my channel. Stay tuned for that. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, both big and small, especially during this time of crisis. And let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, authentic, unscripted, unrestricted, unapologetic wrestling community together. Simple as that. See y'all next time.
All right, James, plug your stuff.
All right. And also, coming soon to a masterclass near you, Noah Foster with his geometry lesson.
That'll be the day.
You guys can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/user/jhebertside95. That's JHEBERTSIDE95. That's also my Twitter handle at jhebertside95. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is at jhebert95 without the side. You guys can also stay tuned on my channel, my actual channel. The Indie Force will be coming up back in about a month's time, 1, and 2, we are going to be starting releasing behind the scenes of WIW matches with the WIW crew. So you should check that out. You might like what we bring and produce. We're actually going to be reacting to the match and giving our thoughts as we were playing the match. So it's going to be kind of cool. It's like a little behind the scenes box and stuff like that. So check that out. Also,
Madness.
it will be if you want to just subscribe to Women's Youth Wrestling, it's also going to be on there too, because I realize we're probably going to need content for 2021. So you can follow us on our CAW League, which is youtube.com/user/WYW Pride, and all the other social media links will be down in one of the video's descriptions, I'm sure. And subscribe here because I edit the show and stuff, and yeah, I do that. So yeah, do that.
And they're on time now too. So
yay! Fuck WMG.
I know, yeah, because they would have been out like 2 weeks ago if it wasn't for that. But then check out this channel. Not just for that, but we're gonna do the Retro Wrestling Review series, reviewing WrestleMania 30 Wednesday, and then at some point next week we're gonna review NXT Takeover All Evolution, and that's Chris's pick, and then Noah gets to pick his show, and then I get to pick mine. James has to pick his. James's pick, since he's such an egomaniac, is picking Immortal, his own WWE. He picked his own show, and it fits the criteria. Oh yeah, by the way, Noah, from now on, if you want to review a retro, you have to wait until a year after the shows happen, because Chris tried to pick like the second episode of Dynamite, and it was like 2 weeks after it happened or something.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's a little soon.
No, 2 weeks. You gotta give him more credit than that. So,
I mean,
But yeah, the Fantasy Booking series is coming back. James is gonna finally finish his ECW roster. Hope.
Yes.
And just check out Own the Talkinator. We're gonna review El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie tomorrow. I have to upload still the SpongeBob reviews I did, but I'm not really in any rush to edit that because this computer sucks at editing. So, yeah. And then CM Brothers coming on to 400 videos soon. So, I know I keep saying soon, but it's coming. So
coming. It's coming. It's like Nikki Cross talking about when Aleister Black was coming to freaking NXT. That was hilarious.
But yeah, that's basically the rundown. I hope you got some entertainment out of this, and if you need help with geometry, Noah's gonna hook you up now too. So.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Go to Khan Academy. They're a better resource than I will ever be.
Is it Tony Khan Academy?
No. Although I wouldn't surprise me if there's a parody for that regarding good creative.
Fair enough. All right,
Alright,
bye
let's-
everyone.
By their own drinks. Take that work week off, 5 days in the bucket. Fuck it, you got a boss who's a jerk who doesn't. Throw on some Wu-Tang, bring the motherfucking ruckus. There is no pretext. We are living and we love it on a budget. Never mind, we just nudge it to the side. Give the kids a little time. We are living till we die. Focused and we hustle, but we still be getting high. No exception to the rule. Do what you do to get by. Cause I keep ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my